Well, hello there, adventurers.
Wow.
Oh my god, you didn't tell us we were on stream. What the heck?
I counted down. I went 3, 2, 1. What do you think happens at 0?
You didn't say 0.
Yeah, you don't say 0. 3,
All
2,
right,
1.
come back,
Transition.
adventurers. How's it been?
All right, stop the stream and then restart it, and this
Good
time we'll be
vibes.
good.
Good vibes.
I feel
Good
this
vibes.
is unfair
Everybody,
for people that
give me a
can't
second.
count.
Okay, everybody, we're going to try this again. Hold on. Hello there, adventurers.
You didn't even count!
We didn't even get a countdown.
You're right. Oh, God, I'm going to have to do it again.
That
Okay.
sounds John.
Yeah.
Third time lucky.
Okay, you're right. Third time.
This time without...
Hello there, agents. I didn't count down again. I didn't. Yeah. All right. Well, this is it. This is
You know
our
what?
intro.
Screw it.
Hi,
This is
everybody.
what we're
Yeah,
doing. This is what we're
going
doing
with
now.
it.
Let's just
Yeah.
wing it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, let's just wing it.
We'll
We'll
fix
be
it in
fine.
post.
Yeah, let's wing it. That apparently has gone really well for us. Yeah. This is a really great testament to that. Hi, guys. Welcome back to the EU crew, soon to be renamed. Presents to Delta
colonists.
Green. The colonists. No, we're not going to be called the colonists. We are finishing up our adventure for this particular night at the opera. This adventure, if you don't know, has been called Music from a Darkened Room. And we pretty much finished it on Monday, got to the end goal, but there's still some loose ends that we want to tie up. Loose end, where are our characters now? And as well as I want to give our players plenty of opportunities to ask questions, as well as anybody who's there, if you might have any questions as well. About the adventure or what have you. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and introduce ourselves like we normally do. Give us your name, your character's name, as well as your favorite meal. Because apparently my icebreaker question wasn't good enough. So yeah, there we go.
Damn.
I mean, I
It's
liked
okay.
it.
I'm going to go
Those
ahead
are
and
very
add.
good vibes of you.
I'm going to go ahead and add 1 to the petty GM counter just because.
I love that you're getting into the spirit of it. I appreciate it.
Yes, you're very welcome. Although you guys don't add any to the doom counter, so I don't know where's the fairness in that.
Wow. I
Anyway,
kind of totally it's another marker.
okay. Going from backwards, we'll go start at Vindo, going backwards, give us your name, character's name, what's your favorite meal? 3,
Hello.
2, see? Okay, apparently I don't even need a countdown.
You haven't been counting this entire time.
Yeah.
So I was
that's
like,
fine.
"Ah, he's
That's
not gonna
fine.
count."
Whatever. That's fine.
Yeah,
Whatever.
way to throw
It's fine.
monkey
Fine.
wrench.
Fine. It's
Thanks,
fine,
bro.
Vindo.
Thanks,
Go.
Okay. Hi, my name is Vindo. I am the pain in the ass, apparently, this go round.
This is true.
I play Booch. Let's see. Favorite meal. I'm going to have to go with brunch because I really like breakfast.
Mm.
And you can have breakfast and people don't look at you weird if you want to drink as well.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's
Yeah.
good mimosa time.
Yeah, mimosa, Bloody Mary, you know.
It's
a good day.
Legit. Next up. His icon is purple. Your name?
How much
Who
wood
you
would a woodchuck
playing
chuck
and-
if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
What's your favorite
3,
meal?
2, 1.
What are you counting?
See? Nobody gets a count.
Go ahead, Willie.
I
What
love
is
you
your-
guys.
What's your name and your character's name and what's your favorite meal?
My name is Steven. My
Hey, Steven.
character's name is Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
Oh, is it? Wait, that's your real name?
No.
Oh.
It's not his character's name either.
Your line
I
is
mean,
not
it is
much
a
fun.
character's name. It's just the wrong
Yeah.
character.
We're
Oh,
just
that's
gonna,
true, yeah.
Just gonna cry. Just keep going.
What was the question?
What's your favorite meal?
Favorite meal.
Favorite meal?
Yeah, favorite meal.
I'm just gonna go with like pasta. Like pasta.
Pasta's good. Legit.
Yeah.
Sweet. Next up.
Oh, it's me. I'm Ayana. I play Ava, and my favorite meal, roast. A good old roast. I love a roast dinner.
Love a roast dinner.
Yeah.
Now I want one.
So do I.
I'm gonna make one. Why not? Right? Actually, I won't have time. It takes time.
Does take a long time.
That's legit.
Throw it in the kitchen bomb. You'll be alright.
Next up,
Hello, I'm Outlaw Deputy. I play Constance, and my favourite meal is also a roast dinner. Because we don't have them very often, and they're really freaking good.
Can we have one this weekend then?
Oh, sorry, the redo. My name is Outlaw Deputy. I play Constance, and my favourite meal is a roast dinner.
legit. Thank you. You know what? Bottle cap.
Oh, sick.
I mean, you can't use it. We're at the end, but you know. it's a
Hey, I
bottle
could
cap
use
and
it on my
spirit.
downtime. Get wrecked.
That's true. It's true. That's true. Maybe you'll get 2 sanity back as opposed to 1.
Hey, at this point, all that
Hell
matters
yeah.
is that I
Big
got
win.
more.
Big win. Okay. Let's see. Last but not least.
Hi, I'm not Irish and I play Bo. My favorite meal is any kind of pasta dish.
Mm,
I love pasta so much.
legit.
I would eat it every day if it didn't make me put weight on.
Mm,
It's so good.
Love pasta.
my name is the Prankster, and I am the GM. And my favorite meal, I love a good medium rare cooked marble steak. You know, the more fat on that sucker, the better. It's still with a nice like salty baked potato and maybe like a nice lobster tail with like some, red lobster biscuits. I'm salivating, and I did not mean
Hungry.
to do that. I am. I'm kind of hungry. I'm kind of hungry.
I want to make myself drool.
Yeah, I kind of do. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and pick up from where we were at the end. The last scene that we had in this particular room was you all breaking the mirrors. All of you, or at least 4 of you, Bo's currently outside,
Yeah, all of us.
coming in and out of
Outside,
conscious.
tied up.
Outside, tied
sleeping.
up. Looks like you guys are like kidnapping her.
She's sleeping.
The mirrors have been broken, and then I think she's sleeping. And then the other thing we talked about was the Elder Sign pen that you had in your pocket, Constance, has just turned into silver dust. There's just like none of it left because I think you had the silver pen. As
No,
you
she had the stainless steel one.
Well, yeah, close enough.
as you guys break the final mirror, as Constance breaks the final mirror, I think that's what we decided. There is a feeling of just like this presence. All the sounds that were going on, the crashing, the gunshots, all of it just seems to have kind of like dissipated. And Bo and Ava specifically, you feel whatever was kind of compelling you, whatever is kind of moving you, you feel it dissipate. You feel like it just kind of like almost similar to the pen. Like it just like dissolves into your mind until it's just like not there anymore.
And now I just feel drugged up.
Now you just feel drugged up. But you don't feel like you want to murder your friends anymore.
Cool.
Oh man, cool.
So wins all around. Wins all around, everybody. She doesn't want to murder you all anymore.
Woo!
So here's how I'd like for us. I know that we've already introduced our characters, but before we kind of like get into tying this up on a bigger scale, I'd like to, what's immediately going through your character's mind as it feels like all the sounds almost like cease at once, as all of the presence just feels like it dissipates, as it almost feels like this just becomes a mundane house within the span of a few seconds. And let's give everybody a moment to kind of go through that in whatever order you want. So if anybody feels so led to kind of get the ball rolling, go ahead.
I'll roll the ball if everybody's okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you count down.
Okay. 5, 4.
I hate you.
To be fair, I forgot that I didn't have the camera on, so I did like the 3, 2, 1 silent like you're supposed to, and held my fingers up even. So you're welcome. Booch is definitely going to be like ripping off his like the sleeve of his shirt, and like, where is Constance bleeding from?
That was one thing. Though that was one thing I brought up about 20 minutes ago. Prankster. We need to decide where that razor hit.
Well, I think it was because of our. I had originally planned that had hit an artery. Hey, Derp Dog.
Yeah.
But forgot.
Okay, I still bled quite a lot.
You
It was,
did. So it must have hit you in a pretty good spot. So I mean, like maybe it cuts like a vein in your.
I was gonna say, plausibly, it could have been coming at me at my throat or something. I put my arm up and it basically slices all the way down my forearm.
Yeah,
because that
I like
would
that.
inflict some serious bleeding.
Yeah, and it would suck. Hey, Derp Dog.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, Booch is basically going to try to stem the flow. as it
Sure.
were.
Linus is
Like,
there as
tie
well.
the sleeve around like the front, like the upper part of her arm, to kind of like stop the bleeding, and then he's gonna be like, Linus, help.
Sure. Linus, you hear them calling for you to come help out Constance.
Yeah, I'll go over and help.
Yeah, right. Don't stress yourself out.
Oops. Is everything okay? Oh, it's not okay.
Yeah.
Constance at this point is like, there's nothing seriously wrong going on with her mentally. Physically, she's bleeding a lot, but it's kind of like she just got hurt a great deal. She was running on pure adrenaline, like, I have to smash those mirrors. She did it, and now it's just like the weight of everything hitting her, so she's pretty silent at the moment. Like
Sure.
mental exhaustion.
I'm gonna
Also physical exhaustion.
do some
Yeah.
first aid on her.
Yeah, roll me a first aid, and then you will get to roll a d4.
Yeah, but it's 90. Do I really have to roll?
Yes.
You want that point or not?
Because if you crit success, you double the amount you heal.
There you go.
There you go, 56.
2
All right.
points.
She gets 2 points and she's
Hold on.
stabilized.
Hold on. So I've had first aid attempted on me since like the injury before. Can I still get first aid on this injury? Does that follow over? Because I know when you have first aid, only like medicine or surgery can help. But
Yeah,
it does
you know
say
what?
since last injury, so I think it's like a new injury. I just want to clarify
yeah,
before
no,
I
I
get
think-
healed up.
I think that's fair. I think we can kind of clarify. So here's how I imagine it. Linus is able to come over you and stem the bleeding. The wound is real and is still going to need some, because you've been hurt
Yeah.
a lot. So let's say that I think that's fair. I think the injury is stemmed, and I will look up some more in between the next time we play just to make certain we're doing this properly. Here is what I would like to do, though, because you have, even though you were saved. So, in the core rulebook, anytime an agent is reduced to 2 or fewer HP, they're supposed to make a Con 5 test, and failure indicates a permanent injury. I still want to use that rule, because while he saved
Why
you
not?
from like going under and going unconscious, I still think that this would be appropriate for the what's going on.
Yeah.
And
And could you imagine how devastating like some kind of, I don't know, use of my hand or whatever would be given my job?
Sure. So go ahead and first off roll me a contest. It'll take your con times 5, and if it's a failure, you get a permanent injury. It's a failure.
Oh no.
This is the right arm or the left arm?
Ooh, let's roll a luck, shall we?
Wait.
Success is
The
okay.
handler selects a stat to be permanently reduced by the number on the lowest 10-sided die of the failed con check to a minimum of 3. So here's the deal. You rolled a 0 because you're lucky. So that means you failed the check, but none of your stats get reduced, actually. Or it could be read that that's a 10.
I don't know
Technically,
which way
that
you want to
would be
read
the
it.
10
you know,
side.
that's that's your call, I guess. I guess.
I'm gonna go with a 0. I mean, like, I'm gonna go with the 0. I'm just gonna make that decision. It's a 0 because a 10 would be. I mean, I suppose a 9 could still be terrible, but
I mean, both is pretty terrible.
but it's a physical thing that. But I mean, yeah. So Sony, we're gonna let me double check here. To a minimum
I mean, we
score
can come
of
back to it.
3. Yeah, let's keep it at a 0 right now, and we'll talk about it. Because I don't even know if you're bringing Constance back. If you are, then that's a bigger question. If you're not, then it's not really needed.
I mean, we can cover it in downtime because she's probably going to need medical attention.
Absolutely. She's going to need medical attention. But for the time being, you patch Constance up. At the very least, you're going to have a wicked scar on your forearm.
Hell yeah.
At most, it might. We'll see where that leads. All right, now that we've kind of dealt with the immediate emergency nature, what is going through everybody's minds?
Do we hear sirens?
Why would you bring that up?
Because of the broken window?
And the bow that's zip tied with her hands behind her back, just chilling outside. And all of the nosy little neighbors who are like, there's some shit going on today.
I feel like you want to see the police. Which
I
is,
don't.
No.
Yeah, and I'm
Do I
going to
get a
roll
bottle
for
cap? I'm throwing all of us under the bus. Is that like
You
worth
are-
2?
Hey, if you ask
You-
for a bottle cap, you don't get one.
it. That is true. That is part of the rule. If you ask for it, I was about to give it to you until you reminded me.
Oh,
about
I didn't know that was
rule.
part of the rule, so okay, that's
Yeah,
not good.
that's fair. That's fair.
Now you know.
It's like
Now
when
I know.
it's like when my kids are like, Dad, I did all of this work. I feel like I should get some like.
Still in GM mode, it's okay, we get it.
I'm in GM mode.
But
Yeah,
like,
that's
to
what's
be
going
fair,
on.
for us, you froze. Like the camera and everything froze, so all we
Yeah, so
saw
we
was
just
you
heard-
like.
yeah, no, you get the
sucking
normal amount of
cock
love.
Smirk.
Amazingly, I mean, I had set it very low for, like, I did not have it be a great chance of success that the police don't get called. Like, I was thinking like 15-20% under, but I rolled for it anyway, and I got a 2. I got a 2
Damn.
on a D100.
Wow.
I guess none of them had their hearing aids in.
Yeah, so all of them are like inside watching Matlock or whatever other old people
The
shows
Price
are in
is
the UK.
Right.
Deal or no deal.
There you go. Deal
Holmes
or no
under the
deal.
hammer.
So Bo is outside, unconscious, and amazingly nobody sees, even though it's broad daylight.
Night.
You know, we should probably go check on Bo.
Okay, so
Well,
let's
no one said how they were feeling.
let's check in on the rest of everybody else that's going through their minds. About a minute. So we'll start. Booch, your immediate thought was, I got to help out Constance. But what are you thinking? What are you feeling after all of this happens?
Like after everything is done.
After it feels like everything's done, yeah.
Yeah, Booch is kind of regretting his whole. This is what he accidentally signed up for. Like this was not in the pamphlet in the brochure when he thought that he was getting a promotion.
Sure.
He's still taking mental notes, and he doesn't know that Constance's pen is gone.
It's true, he doesn't.
So, he checks his own pen. Is it still there?
Yes.
Okay. So thinking back on the talk that he had with the handler, like he is seriously thinking about like giving them the pen to put towards the help
The
an
next
agent
person.
out,
Yeah.
the next person.
Booch
And then
is-
he's thinking, shit, what if I keep doing this and I'm gonna need it? And now he's starting to see the situation and the problem that the handler found himself in, as far as like, why is there no spare stuff
yeah.
with what it cost him to do it, to make it, and everything else? I'm like, why? What if I still need this?
And the other thing too is there was an assumption that, and it's probably because of Booch's nature. Like he's like, this is a promotion, this is good, etc. But I mean, you're assuming that a lot of the agents who had an Elder Sign pen survived.
Right.
So,
It's true.
all right, cool. Everybody else, what's going?
Well, I mean,
through
if he
your-
can pull through it, why wouldn't they be able to?
I do like what's going through Booch's mind. So, how about everybody else?
Ava doesn't believe it's over. Her paranoia kicks in big time, and she's just like, that's not it. It's just a sort of a lull in the activity in the house. So she's going to be looking for some kind of accelerant in the garage, and she wants to burn this house to the ground.
Okay. Sure.
Not the first time we've set houses on fire.
Exactly.
Real big facts right there.
All right. Next up, Constance, Linus, Bo. We haven't heard from you guys. What's going on in your minds?
Constance has never really enjoyed the quiet, like when a place is very silent. When she's researching, she's normally like in a busy place or she has music playing, and this house has never been quiet, so she's very uneasy. She, with that kind of mental and physical exhaustion kicking in, she's like slowly letting herself believe that this could be over. But she's gonna reach inside her pocket because in her head she's like, I kind of want to bury this pen here so that it's still here in case it's not done. And that's when she pulls out just this handful of dust.
So at that point, Booch would be able to see that.
Yeah.
Can I roll a perceptive check to see if I see it? Because he is kind of lost in his own thoughts.
Sure, that's fair.
Oh, it's alertness, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Perceptive.
alertness. Yeah.
I roll perceptive.
Yeah, you see, like, she reaches into her pocket, she pulls it out, and it's nothing but dust. And given your inner dialogue, what was going on just then, that also has to be part of the equation. Like,
Do I even know that that's what that is?
that's a good
I
point.
don't know.
You just see her, like, reach into her coat pocket, and she comes, like there's, like, a metallic dust on her fingers.
Thought that knife glitter was the best thing to bring to this fight, but okay.
All right,
Constance is just gonna ignore that.
Linus and Bo, what's going through your guys' minds?
Bo is relieved to not be fighting against herself in her mind. And also, trying to fight the consciousness that she's slowly,
Go to
letting-
sleep.
letting happen now. She doesn't feel the need to fight against it. Now that she doesn't want to hurt her friends anymore. She would remember everything that happened, right? Like pinning Booch to the ground and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She's just feeling pretty guilty.
Cool.
Friends don't tackle friends to the ground, Bo.
Linus,
Thank you,
what's going through your mind?
I'm just making sure Constance is okay, and I'm a little confused how I ended up here.
Fair.
Oh shit.
So now,
Heroes go.
I think now you guys are maybe beginning like when I was looking for music earlier, and I was like, I need to find something that isn't like we won and everything's great, you know? Because
no one felt that way.
I know that you were definitely feeling that way, and so yeah, no, I feel you. So time goes by, you know, a couple seconds pass, and kind of have an insight as to what's going on in your characters' minds. The game is essentially yours from what you want to do from here. At this point in time, I would just remind you that the big thing is that you need to begin thinking about transitioning and landing the plane, so to speak. Your characters would have that in mind as you know, and we've already kind of talked about it, you know, so just keep that in your mind as we proceed. And with that, what is it that you guys would like to do?
Bless you.
Bless
I'm
you.
gonna sneeze.
Booch is gonna be like, oh shit, bye. And then, like, go downstairs and see if the door actually opens.
Yeah, at this point, the door opens. You know, you're able to unlock it and get out there, and you see Bo laying on the lawn right next to the broken window. She's clearly, you know, kind of like in and out of consciousness, I'd imagine.
He's gonna pick her up and, like, carry her into the house like you would a drunk person.
Sure. I'm not gonna do any roll on it because, you know,
Damn.
with enough time you'd be able to do it. You carry her and, you know, maybe put
I'd
her on the
also
couch.
like to, like, do an alertness check to see if, like, anybody is looking at us, because we've already had the police called once.
That's fair. Go ahead and roll me that alertness check when you're outside. Yeah, you look.
Damn, so alert.
It does not seem like anybody is. Maybe maybe it's the time that you guys are there is kind of at an awkward time, like 11 and a.m. in the morning, and so as a result, you know, people are out doing things. Maybe they're at work, or maybe they're out visiting folks. But it seems like an amazingly just lucky, quiet time where there doesn't appear to be. You don't hear police. You don't see people out there. Seems like you guys lucked out.
Thank God for the senior citizen early bird special for dinner.
No joke.
He's gonna put her on the couch. He's still gonna leave her hands like zip tied and just be like, "Wow, you okay?"
She's in and out.
Okay,
Fair.
so I'm just gonna leave you zip tied because I don't know if you're gonna try to tackle me again. But I am gonna lay you down so you can take a nice little snoot. He's gonna, like, fluff up the pillow that's on the couch and like put it under her head and kind of like lay her down on her side.
Sure.
And then
What
he
a-
would like to go upstairs and check to see if there's something above the garage.
All right, so yeah, you will go to the garage to see if there's anything up there. Sure.
I also was gonna head in that. Oh, I didn't Irish.
You pulled an Irish.
No.
she
It's
just
bread.
she just laughs maniacally. It's the best.
I want to shake Linus off and head or like upstairs.
What do you mean
the
shake
upstairs
him
room.
off? You mean like shake him
Well,
to...
he's like making sure I'm okay, and I'm just like, I'm done being a patient.
Got you. So you're trying to assuade
I want to
him.
go into this room. Yeah.
Oh, that's not the room.
Well, I know I was gonna head up there. Well, I mean, if Booch is going in, then I'm probably gonna stick with Booch actually.
Cool. So, yeah, no, you go to the garage, and so there is this stairs up to this kind of this room, but like there's actually like a secret room above the garage. And so Booch, Constance, you guys are aware that there's something up there based on what you found. So go ahead and roll me an alertness. or search check. Search would probably be better. But give yourself a plus 20% boost because you know something's up there. It's just ascertaining how to get up there, like where it might actually be. Makes sense.
Oh my god.
That makes plenty of sense, though. You guys are like totally like probably
job,
frazzled.
guys.
But you don't see any seam or anything. It all just looks like it's been drywalled over.
Ava's also going to head into the garage, but not and she's going to search the garage, but she's searching for, you know, petrol cans, any sort of accelerant.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if Ava maybe forgot this, but we did take, I don't know, they weren't full, but we do have, like, containers for gasoline, so she could go and fill those if she can't find anything. We took them from the green box, so we do have them in the car.
Also, I'm gonna give me a luck check, but it's got to be like at a minus 30%. So you're gonna have a 20% chance to succeed because police have already combed through this whole house because of the previous suicide, and they would have taken things like that away, I imagine, or the family would have been like cleaning this up, getting it ready. So the house is, you know, aside from some things, mostly empty. I still want there to be an opportunity for it, a chance, but also, you know.
To be fair, they did also leave maggot coffee, so.
Yeah, that's disgusting. I drank that.
I forgot about that.
I'd forgotten about that as well.
I believe how many times Ava threw up.
God, this house must fucking stink.
Yeah, this house must stink to high heaven. Vomit, blood.
How do I do minus 30%?
I tell you, just roll me a luck check, and then I'll subtract the 30. We'll just do it manually.
Man,
Ow.
the house is already on fire.
Best possible result. Best possible result. Ava, the luck check is specifically to look for gasoline.
Mm-hmm.
You look and yeah, there is a full petrol can of gasoline already sitting in the car. Already sitting.
I didn't realize they had their own pump.
Only one? Yeah, a whole pump.
One is going to be enough to get the job done. But yes, so there is gasoline in the garage.
Ava's going to take it and she's going to start in the master bedroom and work her way sort of through to the kitchen, the den. No, probably the master bedroom and the bedroom 4 where she saw the corpses in the closet. Bedroom
Ava,
3.
So Booch and Constance, really quick, as you guys you see Ava grab this gas of gasoline, and I imagine you see a look of determination on her mind. This house is, out of everyone, this house has really seriously fucked her brain on a number, like out of everyone, she's been the one that has really gotten hit hard because of it. So I can only imagine what you think she's going to do. But I want to give everybody an opportunity. I know Linus is be right back, but Booch, Constance, you see her grabbing it. Is there anything you guys do? Or do you just let it happen?
Booch, what's your move? Constance
Or
is
are
pretty...
you too busy badly searching the garage yourself?
I figured this is why I'm badly searching the garage.
Yeah, we're probably
Yeah.
too distracted by what are you doing?
Yeah, that's fair.
Booch
Sorry,
is
look,
gonna
I'm
be
gonna say
like,
something.
so, hey Ava, what are your plans? What's going on here? What do you think you're doing? Like, walk me through the steps.
She's just going to hold up the petrol can and she's going to go, would Ava even tell them? Because she doesn't exactly trust them.
That's Fair. It's up to you. Well, so I want to be clear. So first off, I appreciate you playing the paranoia aspect of your character. I do want to be clear, and if that's how you want to play it, don't mind, everything I could say is just all for naught. But mechanically speaking, the paranoia condition really only clicks in after you have like gone past a certain threat, like you've hit more, like 3 or more sanity. And usually it's an acute episode that chills out. So mechanically speaking, that's how it works in the game.
Like I did.
Yeah.
She literally did in that fight.
She did.
But
Absolutely. My only point is like I've seen it active now for like well after
it's the house and everything. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's just kind of her. She's not really that trusting of people anyway.
Sure.
So that's kind of kicked it up a huge notch,
Then Godspeed.
Yeah,
So-
no, I don't think I think she's just gonna carry. She's on a mission now. She wants this done like before things start up again, because she thinks things are probably gonna start up again. There's no sort of proof that whatever was in this house is gone. So yeah, she's just gonna grab the petrol can and head for the master bedroom.
Boots is going to try to get in her way and try to do reasoning. Just so, if I'm going to jump to a conclusion that you want to burn the house down, I understand that's the way you feel. However, there are a lot of neighbors that don't necessarily, they're older, and I don't know if they'd be able to get out. So you might be endangering more than just the house and the people around it. So, if this is what you want to do, I understand that, but let's go through and think about the entirety of the consequences. Are you willing to accidentally hit somebody that's around the house?
They've been living next to us. They could have been hurt any time. This house is dangerous. It needs to go.
Right, but now it would be on you.
It's not over.
If you don't believe it's over, what is burning the house down gonna do? There's already been fires here.
Not complete ones.
Bucci's going to reach into his bag and pull out the paperwork, the report on the before fires, where they were complete fires, were they not? To where the house had to be restored.
So the house did have to be restored. However, in the previous fires, for whatever, and they happened at night, for whatever reason, neighbors ran in and were able to put out the fire before they kept going.
I was going to say they couldn't have been that bad a fire in the the original mirrors were brought back into the house. All that furniture that you guys have been chasing down, that's the original furniture.
Yeah, but most of that furniture was at a yard or at an estate sale that has made its way back to the house. And the mirrors are renovated mirrors.
They're new mirrors, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, to be clear, there is one gentleman. Let me go ahead and read this again just for your purposes, just because it's relevant to the conversation. Peter Diaz. He was a skilled carpenter and spent the next 3 years restoring the house, meticulously repairing the damage that occurred during the fire of 1977. They were a bit of a public news for several months. The press gave it a positive spin, even. Diaz left his 2 wife and children and moved in there full time And when he's a rare sign, he spent a huge sum on repairing the house, expanding the garage, and restoring the master bedroom's full-length mirrors with period glass. In 1985, Diaz hung himself in the second bedroom with a note pinned to his chest that read simply, "Finished. Finished now." So I can only imagine if it took him 3 years to restore the house, the fire must have been significant.
And this would be information that Booch is
This would have been information you guys would have
like giving Ava.
Oh, got it. Got
Like,
you.
This has already been tried and it didn't work.
Then we need to try harder.
That doesn't mean, like, putting this whole neighborhood's life in danger. At your hand, particularly.
Yeah, Ava's totally not even thinking about that side of things. She's suffered so much in this house.
Yeah.
Can we try a persuade roll?
I think that's fair. That you can try a persuade roll on her. We need to kind of like set a DC for it. So give me a second to look at her. I'm going to say it'd be opposed by a power check.
Wow.
So it'd be your persuade versus her power, her force of personality. And just
Who would you
because
prefer to roll it?
I mean, Booch is doing most of the talking, so I would say him. I would say
There's
Constance.
been more offhanded comments about, like, this isn't going to work.
What I would also say, too, is that even if it's successful, that doesn't necessarily mean she doesn't have to stop. I think maybe the big part of the persuade check is whatever you're saying registers. It gets beyond the paranoia, beyond whatever's going, and then I'll let Aya make whatever changes she wants to that, if at all. But let's leave it. Let's see what happens first. So let's go ahead and do a power check from Aya, and let's do a persuade check from Booch.
Do I get any modifiers because I have Constance helping me out?
I was actually going to say, Constance, why don't you roll me a persuade check, and if you're successful, I will give you a bump. I'll give Booch a bump on his roll. That's a critical success. So yeah, I will give you. Constance, why don't you go ahead and roll for me? Oh, you're already home. Oh shoot, I forgot to pick up my boys.
No, Miss Lisa picked us.
Oh, she's so nice.
Oh, no.
Is she still here?
No.
Okay.
She got us on our bus.
She dropped you off on the bus.
Yeah.
Oh, that was nice of her.
But August had to do Bethany stuff with his
Okay.
sisters.
Cool. Well, I'm in the middle of my game right now, boys. I will. What's up?
I forgot.
Okay.
Come on. Dad, do you want this hat?
I'm good. Thank you, though.
Look at the hat.
Oh, it's a pretty sick hat.
That's a pretty sick angry
That
bird.
is
It
awesome.
actually starts at 8.
What?
It actually starts at 8.
Oh, so you were super late. Okay, my
Yeah.
apologies. We'll get you there on time next time.
But I actually kind of like being dropped off that time because we got to cook.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll drop you off at 8 then. Okay. So let's do this because both of you were talking. Go ahead and just roll me a roll, Booch. I'm gonna say at least she gives you at least a plus 20 boost to this. Okay. So I'm gonna let you
this is
take
not my
this
forte.
however the heck you want, because like she crit, he didn't, you failed. So I'm gonna let you decide how you want to interpret all that. It is your character, and I don't want to make decisions on behalf of Ava. Also, I thought this was an
She kind
appropriate
of
shirt to
maybe-
wear. Sorry.
It is, yeah. That's the most half-hearted. Cool.
No, I'm sorry. I was thinking.
It's okay. Just dying inside.
Cool.
I mean, I think Ava, she may have taken that on board about the house itself, but that doesn't mean the mirrors don't have to go. Like the master bedroom,
Sure.
turn it to dust, you know,
So
or to ash.
So maybe less like burn the whole house down, and at the very least burn that particular room to a crisp.
Yeah, like finish those mirrors off. They're smashed, yeah, but the frames are still there, and the bed, and all of that sort of stuff. So,
Is she
yeah,
saying this out loud?
she's probably. I mean, it's probably not like super coherent. You know, she's kind of messed up, but
Like I got to do something.
probably the only thing you hear over and over is you know, the mirrors.
So Booch is gonna. Okay, so if it's the mirrors that you want to try burning, let's go ahead and do that, but let's do it in a controlled environment. That way the police aren't called again, along with the fire department and everything else. We can take them with us, and we can dispose of them accordingly, or however you want to do it. But let's not start a bonfire in the house or in the neighborhood.
So at this point, Constance wants to head out to the car.
Okay, so you're letting Booch kind of talk with Ava alone.
Yeah.
Cool. I want to give Linus an opportunity because, you know, I know he got back, but Linus, Willie, I know that you've like come to. Constance essentially said, "I'm fine," and you know that she went to the garage. What are you doing in the midst of all of this? What's going through your what are your steps?
Well, I'm kind of just confused of where I am right now.
Sure.
I think I'm just gonna kind of sit there and just assess what's going on.
Sure. Okay.
Nothing too crazy.
All right, just kind of like taking it all in.
Yep.
Ava. Well, let's visit Bo again really quick. What's going on with Bo?
Just knock the fuck out now.
Okay, Bo's just sleeping on the couch. Night.
Look, I even threw myself a little couch.
Sure.
Man, a corner one? That's bougie.
I know.
Yeah, I gotta be a corner one, man.
Swimming in the couch.
Yeah.
Nice.
She's dreaming of swimming.
Awesome. All right, so Constance, you're going to the car.
Yes. It's not the perfect solution, but I'm gonna go grab one of the like biohazard containers that we have and just start putting all the mirror shards in the bedroom. Obviously she's doing this one-handed, probably giving herself little cuts on her hand, but she wants to get rid of all the shards and the pieces and
sure.
get them out of the house.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah, so you go and grab the biohazard container and come up. And you start picking up the glass. Ava,
just probably real slowly.
Sure. Ava, you see this happening. Booch, you're trying to talk Ava down. What's going on?
Booch is gonna ask if that's an acceptable arrangement, and if he could have the petrol can.
No, it's not. In Ava's mind, it's not safe for any of this to leave the house. Like, it's caused enough. Like,
pain.
all those people have died, and we've been through so much in this house. Nah.
So, yeah. Okay.
So she's just gonna head into the master bedroom and start sloshing
She is
Extra level.
not. The moment she tries to get past Booch, he's going to try to subdue her.
Oh my god.
All right, let's go ahead and do it. So it would be an unarmed versus unarmed. However, I am apt to give a minus 20% to Ava on the unarmed check if she doesn't let go of the can, because it is a full tank of petrol, and it would be much harder to defend yourself while holding the can, which I think is reasonable.
Can I not use that as a, the extra leverage to get him away from me?
You saying you want to use melee instead? I say that because I know she has low in both.
You're so mean.
What is that?
You're holding a big petrol can.
You're holding a big petrol can.
It can be pretty heavy, dude.
That could be pretty, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's going to be harder for, yeah. So, Ava, let's do this. Are you going to resist? That's question number one.
How is Booch trying to subdue Ava? Or to stop her? I guess is the big question as to how she would, what she would do physically.
He is probably going to use his police training to knock you out.
He's going to put his hand on your forehead and stick his arm out so you can't get any closer. Like a child.
Classic bully behavior. I love it.
With my police training.
He's probably going to try to, like it didn't work on Bo, but she had military training. He's pretty sure that is not something in Ava's wheelhouse.
Fair.
So...
It's not something in the nerd's wheelhouse.
Right. Like, as one of the nerds, he's like, I'm just more... Yeah, it's cool. We're going to try this.
All right. So, Ava, you've got to tell me what you're doing with this can. Or I'm going to give you a minus to the
Okay.
roll.
She's going to drop the can, and if it's obvious that Booch is not just trying to stop her walking out of the room, but wanting to take her down, she's going to pull out her pepper spray.
Okay.
Oh, God.
This is fair. This is all
'Cause
fair.
No, that's... I mean, she doesn't...
Okay. So here's how this is
They're all out together.
So here's how this has all got to go, because your first action was to just move past him, and then he was going to intercede. So it seems weird that you're going to take out the pepper spray, especially if you don't have like an alertness check. So let's do this. First, roll me an alertness check, Ava.
Yeah.
Love this. PvP at the end of the game.
Okay, fail. So you're just single-minded, set on getting this cannon. So Booch, I'm going to go ahead and just give you the unarmed check. Let's go ahead and do that first. And I think what we'll do is instead of giving her a minus 20 on a resist to the roll, I'm going to give you a plus 20 to succeed. And then I think that should be a wash. Now, if you fail, she'll become aware of what you're trying to do, and then we'll go from there.
I would like to use my bottle cap.
Okay, go ahead and use your bottle.
Oh my God.
Come on, Ava, join me on the couch.
20% on the unarmed check, Booch, whenever you're ready. That is a success. All right. So I imagine, Booch, like you are trying to...
Can you roll again to see if he gets a crit?
Absolutely. That's a good point.
Thanks.
That's actually a really good point. Because if he does get a crit, that changes things too. So technically, the better roll would be a 42% if it was, being resisted. Nonetheless, you succeed. I think at the very least what happens is you knock Ava First, it's going to do 1d4 minus 1 points of damage to Ava from your unarmed attack. What's Booch's strength?
12.
Okay, so yeah, it will do 1d4 minus 1 points of damage to Ava. So let's start with that. Ava, you take 2 points of damage.
Said -1, right?
Oh, that is correct. So you take
So
1
1
point
point.
of damage. You take 1 point of damage as Booch gets in there. I think that's enough to make you drop the petrol can.
Yeah.
So you guys, Linus, Constance, you probably begin hearing scuffling from the garage. Ava drops the can. At this point, Ava, we have to go back to initiative because we're fighting. Stop fighting. So I'm not gonna bother putting Bo in turn order. I think it's funny that the military person is like, this is like their jam, and they're the one like just.
So I was saying to the guys that this is the second time in a row in both our campaigns where Bo has been like unable to fight in the boss fights.
But you did.
Mini boss. Mini
you-
boss.
Yeah, you're the one that took down.
Yeah, but she was
Yeah,
like,
but she was
knocked
put out
for like a
real
long
quick.
time.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's
I was
crazy.
like unable to do anything because I kept failing my fucking saves.
Oh my gosh. All right, so Ava, you have an 8 for your dexterity. That means you'll probably act less. Booch, what's your dexterity?
13.
Linus, what's your dexterity? Constance, I'm going to ask you to.
Is 12.
Okay, and Constance, 11. All right, so let's go
To be
ahead.
fair, in the time that Ava would have been trying to head out of the room and stuff, there's no way that Constance has got to the car and back.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair. So maybe
So,
like
I'm probably like
she's
over here.
maybe she's like just getting back to the door with the bin. I think that's fair.
I like it.
Because it was a whole conversation that was going on. So it's, I think that's, All right, so here's how this is going to go. Booch, you will act first in the turn order. You have, now you're trying to like grapple her and subdue her. That is how you kind of put it.
Right.
So I need to look that up in more detail. Man, should I put some fight
Okay.
music
And I
on?
know this is horrible timing, but I have to go get the kid. I'm already like 15 minutes
Oh.
late. So
Oh, shoot. All right, give me another unarmed check really quick before you go. Fair?
+20 or without?
Without the +20, because the can's no longer in her hands. That would be a fail.
Ooh.
Oh, wait. So hold
The other thing is that Booch is gonna basically call out to Linus. Linus, I need you to sedate Ava as well.
So actually, according to these rules, you would have successfully pinned her.
On the first one?
Yeah, on the first one, you would have successfully pinned her, based on what you were telling me. So the petrol drops from her hand. You're essentially on top of her. Would you have done anything other than just keep pinning her, or would you have tried to attack her?
Zip tied her.
Okay. Okay, given that 96, the zip tie fails. But I imagine, like, you're on top of her and she's kind of squirming away. That's where we are.
Okay.
Go ahead, buddy. Thank you, Booch. I appreciate you, Vindo. Linus, you hear Booch call out for you to sedate Ava. It is your turn.
Back.
Well, I guess I'm gonna walk up and see what's going on.
All right, see, we get at least
Question,
5
is
squares.
Linus getting scared?
No.
So Linus, you walk into the garage, you see the petrol can on the floor, you see Ava being pinned by Booch. Ava's trying to squirm away. What do you do? Booch also would probably mention that she's trying to burn the house down.
would do. Let me think.
To be fair, I'm not asking what you would do. I'm asking what Linus would do. So,
Well, obviously.
I'm just teasing.
I know what I would do.
Little
I would
TTI
sit down
Just
and
a page
watch.
in.
But,
Okay.
Why are we fighting?
What does Ava say?
Ava's gonna look at the petrol can, look at Linus, and say, "Burn the mirrors, burn them all. They've got to go."
And Booch should say, like, yeah, she's crazy, I think, and she needs to be subdued. Right, so if you could help with that, that would be nice.
I'm like half and half.
You don't know who you want to support? That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know who to support.
Roll a luck check, and then we'll say like 1 through 50 is Vindo or Ava. Your choice.
Or we
do-
could both do a persuasion, like Ava and Booch.
That's true. That can
And
be it
then
too.
Linus can either ignore that or do whatever with it.
Sure, you guys can roll.
But just for funsies. I'm
Roll
so
to
not very
convince
persuasive.
me.
All right. So she's going to take the gas and burn down the house, and I'm not adverse to that, but I think doing it during the day is probably a bad idea. So that's my best Booch, and I guess I'll roll on his behalf. Persuade, and then
Surely fire's harder to see during the day because it doesn't light everything up like at nighttime.
okay, he succeeds at the 23.
Ooh.
Technically, by the rules, Aya's roll wins.
It can do with that information what you like.
The higher success is usually the tiebreaker.
Yeah, I don't think I'm qualified for this decision.
We'll go find Constance.
All right. Awesome. Constance, you come walking in, and Linus is there. What do you say, Linus?
Booch and the other one are fighting.
Wow. Butch and the
I
other
didn't see no name.
Like, Ava has it in her head that she needs to burn the house down. Like, that's irrelevant of that. There are people, like, we can't put them in more danger. They're all old. They can't run out of their burning houses.
Not all of.
So we're setting fire to the neighborhood now?
Yeah, but remember that Ava told Linus to burn the mirrors, not the whole neighborhood.
Yeah, but Constance doesn't know that that's the settlement. She still thinks you're burning the house down.
Well, she did say it was the mirrors, not the entire neighborhood.
She knows glass doesn't set on fire, right?
I don't know. I'm gonna go sit on this couch. You can go deal with it. I'm just a doctor.
So what I'm hearing is that Linus ultimately is doing exactly what Willie would do, which is sitting back and watch.
No, I would sit
just-
in the garage and just watch them.
Gotcha.
Just see if you can like bow up.
Constance, you are. That's
yeah,
one move.
actually, here, I'll do that. I'll wake Bo up. I'll grab a stimulant and wake her up.
Okay, that's fair. So you're gonna just drug her to hell. I like it. you put a little bit of cocaine underneath Bo's nose.
No.
I'm just gonna head for the garage. I don't know. I've been moved, so I don't know how far I've moved already and how far I can move now.
You have moved one movement. If you'd like to move again, you can move another 5 squares.
Yeah. in that area somewhere.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't know what 5 squares is.
Yeah, that's fair. Something like that. So you were here, right?
Sure.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, I was here.
That would be 5 squares.
Cool. We'll go there then.
Cool. All right, Constance, that's
Am I
your
allowed
turn.
to wake up Bo this turn, or do I have to wait till next turn?
You did a lot of moving, so you actually have to wait
That's
till next turn.
Yeah, that's fine.
I want her to be able to participate more, but it's kind of
Oh,
hard
good,
given
dude.
the
I'm enjoying
circumstances.
this shit.
Ava, you're underneath. Bo, you can try and get him off of you. You have to roll. See the escape action. Let's see here. A roll to escape a pin is either your strength times 5 or unarmed combat, whichever is better.
Probably the strength times 5, because 50's more than 40, right?
Yep. Go ahead. And it's either his strength or his unarmed combat, whichever is stronger to keep the pin. So in this case, his strength will win out for a 60. So it is his roll against yours to keep you pinned. Go ahead and roll me a strength check, Ava. And he will roll a strength check to keep you pinned.
Damn.
That is a fail. You knock Booch off of you, and you are, that is your action, so you are free to move 5 squares.
Can I grab the petrol can again?
Oh, that's what I was going for.
You can absolutely go for the petrol can. That will probably take some movement, though, so I'm gonna, like, maybe you get to, like, there. You don't get very far. Make sense?
Okay.
All right. It is top of an order. Booch will... Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he just tried to pin you again.
Yeah.
So he is going to do that. So he will get the plus 20% again because you are holding onto the can. I mean, it makes sense. Like it's
Yeah.
and actually, what we'll do is let's do his unarmed combat versus your unarmed combat at a minus 20. So that way you have like a chance to resist it. Make sense?
Sure.
I think that's what I probably should have done. So his unarmed combat roll, here it comes. 15. It is a success. So, yes, his success is greater than your success, and so he will actually pin you to the ground again, knocking the petrol can. There's petrol all over the place probably at this point. It's awful.
The lid, yeah.
I actually
But-
DM'd you a little while ago asking if it was an open or closed container.
That is a good question.
Fuck check.
Luck check.
I mean, it's been in this garage for a while, hasn't it? Because people have been dead.
Let's do a luck check
What's
for that,
that
but
like?
at a plus 20%. So I'm going to roll D100. It's got to be 70 or under for it to be closed. All right, it is closed. So there is not gas everywhere. That's fair. Bo, what are you dreaming of?
Maybe a sausage roll. Maybe a little bit of drill coming out of my mouth.
Oh, you want to go to Greg's?
I want to go to Greg's, dude.
It's like Homer Simpson when he's sleeping. Awesome. Linus, you give her the cocaine now? Is that what's going on?
I'm not giving her cocaine.
Oh, okay.
It's just a stimulant.
That's fair.
You know?
Cocaine is a stimulant.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm not drugging her.
Yeah, he's already done that.
Yeah.
I would say you are drugging her.
Yeah, but I'm not bad drugging her, you know? We're good
Yeah,
drugging
it's
her.
more something to counteract the drugs that you've already given her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To,
Ah.
like, neutralize it.
Cocaine.
Yeah, prankster. How dare you assume that it's just cocaine when he's carrying all kinds of other drugs in that bag? How dare you?
Jeez, why would I be carrying
That's my
around cocaine?
black
That's illegal.
cocaine addict, not one.
All right. Cool.
Anyways,
So you are stabbing her.
yes,
All of
I'm
a
stabbing her.
sudden, the sausage
feels
that you're
too
about
familiar.
to eat, Bo, it just like all of a sudden it has like anthropomorphic hands and it just jabs you right in your
Oh
arm.
my god.
This is feeling way too familiar.
Is Bo is still like restrained, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
she is.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Yes,
Awesome.
I'm going to awaken her.
With your score, I think it's fair. Excuse me. I'm so
Do
sorry.
you need me to roll medicine?
Yes, please. Just in case you like stab her in the heart or something and kill her.
Yeah.
Oh my god, please don't.
You do not stab her in the heart. You stab her in an appropriate spot and it begins working through her system. Constance,
Hello.
you see this ruckus.
I want to try and grab the gas can.
2, 3, 4. You would be on top of the gas can. You'd have to get over a struggling Booch. Roll me a dexterity check because of all this. It's kind of tight corners, everything going on. Just to make certain you don't like trip and fall on your face.
Yeah. Sick.
Cool. You trip and fall on your face.
You are carrying a big, like, biohazard.
You do have a biohazard container.
I feel like dropping that isn't really an action though.
No, that's a free action. You just have to let
just
go.
throw it at them. No.
You just.
I was
It's
just
Constance off the top. It's Constance with the chair. That's fair. Constance, you look at all of this. You try to get over. You kind of like stumble and become part of the like fray. I guess I don't know. It's awful. But yeah, you fall. What do you want to try and do?
probably nothing because shit, my arm.
That's fair. Ava, trying to resist.
Yeah.
Strength versus strength. Booch.
Get off me, boo.
I don't think I can do that. I might have to keep you on the ground. So Mr. Linus can come and give you some nice happy juice.
Oh, that's gonna be hard to beat. Look at that.
He keeps
Can I
you...
interest you in some trail mix?
Yeah, can I... Booch just like, with one hand, takes it and just like shoves some trail mix in your mouth. All right, this should make you feel better.
Eat granola,
All right.
you crazy lady.
Yeah, eat granola. I hope... Graphite granola makes everyone be a bit more calm. All right, he's just going to maintain it, and he already has, so I'm going to keep that as his turn. Bo, you're awaking, you're restrained, you're kind of like, ugh, but like you can feel, you know, the sausage stabbed you. And like, I imagine like as that happens, like you're also like, you wake up.
Why am I tied up? Still, take these off me.
Are you okay?
Completely.
Do you want to hurt me still?
No.
Promise?
He's just gonna look at him. I promise, Linus.
In the background, you just hear a Constance. Fuck!
Yeah.
Okay. Just so you know, they're fighting over trying to set the house on fire.
Another one?
Yeah.
The Delta Green Way.
I break the cuffs.
Yep, you have scalpels and stuff like that as a doctor, so I think it's fair you can just like knock those zip ties off. So Bo, you can at least begin moving over there.
I will start slowly getting up from my lion position
Sure.
and just like kind of groggily get up to my feet and see if I can stand. Can I see if I can stand? What do you want me to roll?
That's fine. Yeah, I like that
sleepy
idea. Why don't you roll me a power check to see if you're able to... we'll see. Because that's supposed to represent like your force of will person, like your force of be able to.
Oh, I sit back down.
Yeah. I imagine you're like, and then you immediately follow.
Oh, are you okay?
Just a little wobbly.
Probably all
you
the
might wanna wait a
drugs.
little bit.
But by the way, from Linus waking you up, you have kind of like a powder mustache. All right, Linus.
Oh my God.
What do you want to do?
There's no powder mustache.
It wasn't cocaine, I swear.
I'm gonna help. I'm gonna help Bo stand up.
Okay, sure. I can't believe you failed by 1%.
I know, right?
That sucks.
It's so close to being a critical success where you probably could have just sprinted all the way to the garage.
Oh, yeah, I probably would have said that, yeah. All right, but yeah, so Linus, you begin to like help her get up. That is what both of you guys are doing this round. Constance, you are kind of part of this whole scrum. It's your turn again. You can get to the can.
Can I? Yeah, I was gonna say, can I try and shimmy away from the scrum and get the can?
Yes. Okay, so at this point in time, I don't want to like. We can keep focusing on this PvP. However, you have the can. Ava is subdued. Bo is waking up, and it's about to be a dog pile. Assuming that's what Bo is going to do, or is Bo going to help resist? Is she going to help set the house on fire, or not help set the house on fire?
What's going through Bo's mind right now is she kind of wants to get revenge on the house for making her want to hurt her friends.
Sure.
And she doesn't want to set the house on fire because, you know,
She wants to shoot it.
she's done that before and, you know, it kind of turned out bad and almost, you know, fucked us over. But she wants to go and, like, destroy the master bedroom as much as she can.
Sure. Okay. Ava, are you going to keep resisting now that Constance has the gas? Hold on, I'm not going over your turn.
Oh yeah, fair.
I'm trying to ascertain whether or not we need to remain in combat because combat does take time, and I just want to make certain we're using our time efficiently.
I think Ava's gonna try one last time to get him off her.
10-4.
She's not enjoying the fact that, you know, she's pinned to the floor.
Absolutely. All right, so Constance, you see a resolve in
False
Ava.
trail mix in her face.
You've got cashews, but they shouldn't be cashews. All right, she is not behaving. We need her to calm down just a bit. That would be nice. Constance,
You don't even get the chocolate trail mix. You get the dried fruit. Take
you
that.
get the dried fruit, which actually is my favorite personally. But
It's pretty good.
all right, Constance, you have the petrol. You stand up. You can move away. What else do you want to do? You want to light Ava on fire?
Oh yeah, no, I'm kidding. No, I'm gonna go out this way. Oh, that's a ruler.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm gonna head that way.
So you begin moving. All right, so Ava, it's your turn. Go ahead and roll me an opposed strength check, and we'll see how this handles. 49 for Booch, 80 for you. He keeps you pinned. He's like, please don't make me do this. I just want to give you some trail mix. I know we've all been through a very hard time, Miss Ava. Just need you to just calm down.
Stop my bloody nose, you lunatic.
Oh, let me help you with that. And he gets kind of close and it almost looks romantic. And then he just like blows really hard to try, like, he still has you pinned. He doesn't want to unpin you. He's just like, just blowing as hard as he can. I hope that's better.
She's going to force the air out of her nose and the cashew's going to go flying and hit Booch in the face.
All right.
That seems incredibly lucky.
That wasn't very nice.
That was very nice.
No, it's sticking it up my nose.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change some things up here. That combat music, though, you know, super combat-y. All right. Eventually, Bo, you're able to get your sea legs Matter speaking. Linus, you help get her over there. Booch is restraining Ava. Constance has gone away with the petrol can. You can see that Ava is just like livid, frustrated, angry. Bo, you eventually get your legs and you see Ava being pinned. Booch tells you, explains everything, what's going on. What do you say or do?
Does Bo know that Ava was in the same kind of situation she was?
I don't think so. I don't think either. I mean, have you even expressed to them what you were under?
I don't think so.
Constant sword in your eye. This isn't
Yeah.
you, Bo.
She did have a weird look in her face.
That's true. You
That's as
did
far as I know.
describe that as like your eyes were glassed over or something.
I don't know how Bo would react. Maybe she thinks it's like a lover's quarrel or something. I don't know. Little big
Booch,
guy
yeah.
and a computer girl.
Well, Booch does describe. He's like, she's trying to take the gas and light the house on fire, and I don't think that's a really good idea right now.
Yeah, okay. Bo will probably like walk over and like crouch down as best she can and like maybe catch herself a bit so she's still a bit wobbly.
Sure.
And just see if she could like catch Ava's eye. I've been in that spot where you want to burn an entire place to the ground. I've been there, I've done that. And it didn't turn out good for the rest of us. Or, you know, maybe even the people around where that was. I didn't even check, you know, because I didn't want to have that on my conscience. It felt pretty shitty. It didn't help. And we kind of almost got in trouble for that. I made it look as if it was an accident. And if you just go around with a petrol can and, you know, light it on fire and the police know that we were here last, it's gonna look a little fishy and they're gonna come looking for us. So it's gonna put a huge target on us. I agree, the mirrors have to be destroyed fully. But I don't think burning the entire house, or even, you know, just burning the house will not help in this situation.
I have a question.
Heard.
Where's the gas can right now?
Constance has it.
In my hands.
And where is she?
Well, during this conversation, I probably made it through to here by now.
Okay, guys, so she's not there. Got it. Okay, sounds good.
Sure. No, good question.
That was just my question. I just wanted to know if the gas can and Constance was still in the room, or if we're all just chatting and she's over there squirting the gasoline everywhere.
Valid questions.
I'm not going to
Right,
say
okay.
anything. I was just curious.
So I can stop doing my Booch impersonation. Nice.
Really funny.
It's alright, I'll watch it later and see how well you did.
You
After that little
you were
speech.
pinning her down, shoving trail mix in her face.
Nice.
It was very Booch.
One went up our nose and she flew it out into your face.
And I had you go, that wasn't very nice. I'll have to work on that.
Like, to be fair, he would probably be, like, apologizing to her this entire time. Like, I'm sorry, you're not thinking straight. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Also, I don't want to throw Prankster under the bus, but the trail mix was totally my idea.
it was.
Fair.
It was. No, it's not throwing you under the bus. That's proper attribution of a joke. I'm for it.
But after
Yeah,
Bo's
'cause he's
little
not funny.
speech, She's
Thanks,
gonna
Willie.
like
Yep.
try and like stand herself back up a little wobbly still, and then start walking towards the master bedroom.
Before Bo goes out the room, because Ava saw her launch Booch, pin him to the ground, like
Yeah.
so, and Ava felt what the house was trying to sort of do with her too. She managed to kind of resist it at the end there, but so I think Ava would understand that Bo knows that what the house is capable of, or whatever it is in the house, and so she's gonna sort of slump down a bit more, kind of just stop struggling and say to Bo, "It's not enough. It's not over. It's not over. It's not over."
Or like stop in our tracks and like turn back around.
Shit, is Bo up?
Yeah, I'm up, dude.
Yeah.
Linus was
I don't
shoving
know if
handfuls of cocaine up her nose.
Hey,
In true Linus fashion.
It was very much not cocaine,
stimulant.
probably.
Like, I guess Ava would know that Bo's not aware that we smashed all the mirrors in the master bedroom, and so she's gonna sort of say to Bo, "The mirrors are all smashed, but they mended it once. They put it all back together once. They need to go. I just wanted to burn the mirrors, burn down the master bedroom. It needs to be over."
Starting a fire in a house is very dangerous, not just for the people in the house, but people around in the area. Toxic fumes. There's a lot of elderly people in this neighborhood. It's not a good idea. I agree. The mirrors have to go.
Do you really think a house like this should stay standing?
I mean, maybe we can, I don't know, maybe contact whoever owns the house. I'm guessing it's the council now, since, no one owns
I
it.
don't know. Did Donnelly have relatives or whatever?
So I'm gonna go ahead and take over for a moment here, just to kind of keep things
Oh,
moving.
cool.
Yeah.
In that case, some of that might not be relevant, but still.
Yeah, but I was going to suggest that we contact someone to, like, if it's owned by, like, the council, maybe contact them and say that this house is dangerous and it needs to be leveled.
Shit. I called an Irish. Fair. Okay, so we're going to kind of go into a cinematic, just to kind of move things along. So we see Constance. She's moved back to the master bedroom as this whole thing has gone down, and she's picking up mirror pieces.
She starts to, and then she's cleaning up her own blood off the floor and is currently just sobbing.
Yeah.
Bo was going to go into the master bedroom and, like, start removing the frames of the mirrors so
Sure.
they can't be put back up.
Starts removing the frame so they can't get put back up.
Yeah.
All of you begin kind of doing this work.
I'm sitting
Kind of-
on the couch.
Linus is sitting on the couch. Ava and Booch, I don't want to pilot your characters too much, but give me broad strokes. What's going on?
Ava's still just laying on the floor. She's
Just laying on the floor.
broken.
Booch?
He's gonna put Ava on the couch with Linus if she will allow him, and be like, look after her, make sure that she's not gonna do anything that she shouldn't be doing, and then he's gonna go back and try to, even if he has to basically bust it with a hammer, he wants to know if there's anything in this room.
Sure. Fair.
If there's something that they missed, he's just trying to be thorough.
Absolutely. So you guys take some time to board the window. You take some time to clean up the thing, clean up your blood, take down these things. We see Bo just and Constance working in the master bedroom. We see Booch. He finds a tool in the garage and just like busts through the drywall, and you can see up into this room. And sure enough, in this secret room above the garage, it looks like there's like this altar that's almost there. And the wood around it is just stained with blood. Looks to be like kind of a holder for, and you imagine like that's where the bronze bowl would go.
Okay.
And kind of like the area where sacrifices is, and all of it is like where the blood is just soaked. You see like Latin, or what you can only assume is Latin.
The prank he was still describing.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. You can see what appears to be like some type of language. Maybe you think maybe it's Latin. But it's clear like
I
there's
hope it's
like
Greek.
It's Greek.
Sumerian.
It's all Greek to me. And so you look at all of us. You're like, this is rough. Who was it earlier that had the inkling about the dining room?
About
I said
the what?
you heard something like yowling, like a cat from the dining room. Do you remember that? It was last
It
session.
was me.
I thought that was
Linus.
Linus.
Yeah.
That thought
it was me.
occurs to you. You don't hear anything anymore, but that thought occurs to you as well as it felt like it was almost coming from underneath the dining room.
Me?
Yes.
Okay.
So you could do
Rip
that
up
with
some
that what
floorboards.
you would like. If you'd like, you can. You don't have to. So Ava's just like laying on this couch, staring at the ceiling. This is the longest you all have been in the house now. It's got to be like over an hour just doing this little work, cleaning, whatever, and nothing happens. Everything seems to have dissipated. Bob and Constance, you're able to get your work done. Eventually, I imagine like you would move to the room in the garage, and you would see Constance. A lot of it looks like some of the ritual to summon the dark man, to call upon him that you would have
read about
described in Isabel's diary. Correct.
Yeah.
So just confirmation of all of that. Bo, you take a look at the room when you're all done, and there's no more brackets, there's no more mirrors. It just looks to be a regular, mundane bedroom. And I imagine, Bo, as well, like you go to the bathroom, it's a normal bathroom, nothing else going on. Linus and Ava, anything else you guys would like to do?
I think I just kind of want to sit on the couch and kind of, because like I'm still very confused and I don't really know what's going on still.
Sure.
Yeah, Ava's just gonna stay there and listen to the quiet.
So
Read any good books recently?
I don't really read a lot of books.
Okay.
That's the last book I read.
So time passes to the point where you feel like you could finally just like leave this house, that you've done everything that you really can do. Linus and Ava, Linus is very confused about what's going on. Ava just sitting there looking defeated. And time passes. It is evening
One
now.
last question before time passes too much. Can I read what is written in the room? Just so I know what kind of mood Constance is in after that.
You can. I mean, it's Latin. Like I said, you see some things that you've already seen, like the name that I've already shared.
Yeah. Cool.
Con voce lo numero, lo umo nero. Yeah. As you guys leave, first off, because of the first time you've been in this house and you feel like you've actually done something, I'd like for everybody to roll a d6 because they get that much sanity back.
Fuck!
If only you said you'd want to use your bottle cap.
I was going to, but I'd like literally already clicked it, so I was like, oh well.
Oh, that tracks for Iva.
It's kind of fitting, yeah, for Ava.
Bo, yeah. All right, Linus, go ahead, roll that d6. Yeah, so all of you get that much sanity back. Go ahead and adjust your sanity counters for me. Yeah, poor Outlaw and Ava. Outlaw, or Constance, are you at 41?
Yep.
Wow. That's getting, that's messed up. All right, so yeah. You guys kind of grab all these things, and eventually the evening comes. True to Constance's word, you picked up all the mirror pieces, right?
Yeah, I mean, at least all the big pieces. Just kind of
Sure.
want to take them and smash them and make sure
Yeah.
they're gone.
I wanted to like break the frames as much as I can, and then like they're made of wood, right?
Correct.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna take them somewhere and burn them.
Yeah. You gather all of them and maybe all those pieces. And imagine it's night now, kind of in the country.
We'll go to some high place and do this.
Yeah, go to some high
I
place.
would have taken pictures of everything
Sure.
in that room, and then added it to my report, my paperwork for what we turned in
For Delta Green.
for Delta Green.
Sure.
I also want to, for the first time in 3 days, turn my phone on.
Yeah, you do. And no calls. Or no calls from an unknown number. Seems like your
Yeah.
electronics are...
What
Not
about your
being-
boyfriend?
Missed calls a shit ton.
17.
You see you see a call from Eric Hayes and a couple of images of him, like Montana, and like he's climbing or hunting or doing some of these things. He's like, miss you, and I wish you were
Is
here.
he wet?
Just from like the waist down.
No, is his hair wet?
Oh.
Yes.
B-boy!
It is he's it's gotta like kind of like hit you like this, you have this life all over the place, but it seems like you've kind of made a home in Montana, and so those types of sites just probably have gotten into your bones a little bit, so you miss the hiking or you miss the mountains or whatever, and so it's gotta kind of hit you.
I miss the smell of pee.
You miss the smell of deer urine.
So fucking nasty.
That's so gross.
Evening comes, and you guys take all of the mirror pieces, all of the brackets, all of it, and toss it into like a big old canister, and you burn it, and the flames go up into the night, circles of smoke going up into the air. Go ahead and roll me another d4 for sanity that you get back, because as cathartic as
I
it
was
was,
gonna say you should have used your bottle cap.
It's a D4.
Oh, that makes sense that it's really cathartic
I was
for
about
Ava.
to say, yeah. Because she got pulled into those mirrors.
Absolutely. So all of you get that much sanity back as well. Just taking a look at all of it, it's got to feel good that there's some, maybe, how do I put this? Your actions took an effect of like just like this weird feeling passing away. But there's something cathartic about standing around burning it.
I would like to think that we let Ava light the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
Kind of like, okay, this is what we said we were gonna do, and this is what you wanted to do, so you get to throw the match.
I like it. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So You spend maybe hours just sitting there, maybe in silence, maybe talking. I'm not entirely certain. Is Linus still confused at this point? If you're there, Willie, is Linus still confused?
He's muted.
Linus is just exceptionally quiet. Not even awkward quiet, just quiet. As you're all kind of standing around the flames as it goes into the night. You get up the next morning. Doesn't really seem like there's a whole lot going on. Maybe you get a police report about another broken window at 37 Celluli away. The police chief comes and talks to you. You kind of get it all figured out.
Can I make a bureaucracy roll?
Absolutely. What is this for?
Like smoothing things over with the chief?
So bureaucracy is more like navigating the bureaucracy. Smoothing things over would be more like a charisma check.
Could he feasibly be able to like play the system, know the right things to say, kind of thing? Because he knows what they're looking for, what is in a report, whatever.
You son of a bitch, Vindo.
I will give them the paperwork for why the mirror or why what just happened.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Be like, here's my police report.
You could try and get them to get the permissions to level it.
Ooh, yeah, we'll do that.
Ooh.
Be like, we found a fault in the foundation. The whole building needs to come down. I understand it's a historical building. However, it is a public hazard and unfit to be. That structure is unfit to still be rebuilt.
Roll me a bureaucracy check at a minus 20%.
You dick.
It wouldn't have even mattered. He's like, the house is the house, man. Just,
And all the bureaucracy fails.
Yeah.
Can I
you know what, though?
And see if they can build a park there instead?
You know what, though? You get to mark bureaucracy, which is kind of nice.
I do. I mean, that's...
Go ahead, Irish, and try and persuade him to build a park there instead.
I'm gonna be so angry.
Persuade or bureaucracy?
I'll let you choose. Please don't do bureaucracy. I would be so pissed if she does it. Okay, we're good.
He's like, your argument was even worse somehow.
A neighborhood filled with elderly people. Let's build a park.
Just please leave. All of you, please leave. You've been nothing but a pain in my ass. I'm glad this got all sorted out. What did you figure out was the cause of Agent Donnelly's death, by the way?
Suicide.
So it was suicide.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
She's
I'm
gonna
glad.
leave a really nice gift basket that is basically just all trail mix and office supplies.
Nice. All right, guys.
And one really good pin for him.
There is maybe there's a scene of you guys saying goodbye. Booch, Constance, Linus getting on airport, getting ready to go. I don't even know if you guys do like formally say goodbye or if you just kind of go your separate ways. What does that look like?
Booch would definitely go through and make sure that he told everybody goodbye, and he would have like little plain snacks for all of them, like a little bottle of water,
of course,
some trail mix, some
such
chocolate.
a nice guy.
I mean, Constance is genuinely concerned about every single one of them, so she's gonna make a mental note to even just online check up on them, or like call them.
You know who'll check up on all of you online? Ava. She plots to kill all of you.
Dun dun dun.
I probably won't call Ava, I'm not sure.
All of them get a little bit of extra spam for the rest of their lives. Okay. Constance, Booch, Bo, Linus, Ava, what does it look like saying goodbye, leaving, going back to your regular life?
Bo would definitely try and give everyone like a little hug as she says goodbye. People can lie if they want to.
I'm gonna tense up.
Constance is probably gonna cry.
And she would definitely definitely try and keep in contact with everyone.
Sure.
I'm gonna tense up on that hug and be like, "Oh,
And she would
not used to
also
hugs."
apologize to Booch for pinning him down
Oh.
and almost, and thank Linus for knocking her out.
Thanks for the cocaine, dude.
It was a great time.
Does Linus even remember sedating her though? Because he was like,
No, he does, because it was when she was fighting when he failed his sanity roll.
Yeah, I think I was still Linus.
Yeah.
cool.
Ava's
Pick her
been. She'll be there for the goodbyes. She's not. I don't think she'd leave Coventry straight away. But she's kind of withdrawn from everybody. Bo goes to hug her and she'll accept the hug, but she won't return it.
Sure.
Boosh will definitely go through and apologize to Ava. And like her gift bag is a little bit bigger than everybody else.
Aww.
It's nice.
A little bit of extra chocolate.
A little bit of extra. There's a lot of bit of extra chocolate.
Nice.
Nice.
So all of you say goodbyes, eventually getting back to go to your regular lives, as it seems like the mysterious suicide of Arthur Donnelly has been solved. And
Can I, at the very least, get Linus to stitch up my arm?
yeah, that's fair. I mean, do you want to do, assuming Linus will do that.
It's up to him.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So those are sutures. That's pretty, I'm not going to make you roll on that. That's easy doctor stuff.
Easy, doctor.
That is gonna leave one hell of a scar.
So you
Zigzags.
actually do 1d4 damage to her.
Oh my god.
Nice.
This could knock me out. I just want to let you know that.
Roll me a 1d4.
That's gonna scar.
2.
Thanks
so,
for taking away the first aid you did.
so for whatever reason, like he opens the wound and maybe he has like, I don't know. Describe the failure to me. How does that look, Linus?
I don't think it's a failure. Firstly, I think.
In his defense, you were going to give it to him. Maybe it was just really shoddy.
No. I think that I was looking at it and was like, oh, this is not very well cleaned up. Like we gotta unwrap it real quick. We're gonna take it all out. We gotta re-clean it up, and it's gonna hurt a lot. And then so we do all that. We retake it out. We re-clean it. We take it all out, and then we re-stitch it up. I think that's
Gotcha.
my failure.
10-4. And you.
I think that's a fair failure.
Yeah, and you stab her repeatedly. That's part of the failure.
Wow.
Well, I mean, to be fair,
To be fair,
showing
you're-
somebody up. So yes,
you're-
you are stabbing her repeatedly.
Thank you, Vindo. Thank you.
I got you.
Yeah,
So-
I'm on that same wavelength.
I'm not afraid to use it.
Maybe that 2 hit points is like the mental damage. You take
Lose
2
2
points
will
of
points?
psychic damage. So all of you begin to go back to your separate ways as the case of 37 Celilio Walk is closed. Now we've got downtime to do, but before we do that, I want to do questions about the adventure first, because we're still kind of in that area, and then we'll do downtime. You know what I'm saying? So
Gotcha.
any questions you want to ask me about the adventure, I will be glad to. Oh, I'll start with this. As you guys all leave, a couple months have passed at this point, and 37 Celilio Walk has been cleaned up, and a couple of prospective home buyers come, and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, this place looks good. I think I could use some renovations here, there. Everything seems pretty normal with the house. Like, yeah, we think we need to remove the dining room floor. We'd like to yeah, we'd like to send in our inspector to just check this out. And the real estate person's like, yeah, no, that's perfectly reasonable. And so we see this a couple days go by, and this house inspector comes in, and he's checking out all the stuff. He's alone in the house. Nothing is happening to him. He's fine. Just a normal house for him. And he's measuring things, kind of like marking things. So this could be fixed. This is all part of a normal home inspection process anyway. Goes in, and he goes to the dining room, and he sees that there's a loose floorboard, and he's like, huh. And he goes there and, kind of like removes it. And he like gets a little light down there, and he's looking down into the dining room floor. Underneath the dining room floor, he sees a mass animal graveyard. Skeletons upon skeletons of cats and dogs.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
And as
I know, as soon as I didn't go do it, he was like, "This son of a bitch, I'm still
Yeah.
gonna do it."
I'm still gonna do it. I don't even care. This is so cool. I want it to happen. And so the last scene we see of this particular operation, even though 37 Celestial Walk has been, whatever presence is there has been gone, we see this light. We see these skeletons. The last shot is of the same house that we have on our big page here, just the front of it, as we hear the scream of a man from the inside, just as everything kind of fades to black.
Shit, Ava was right. It's not done.
It's fine. They're just sacrificed animals. They
Okay,
have to go somewhere.
so I'm gonna keep the tense music up just because it's fun. What are questions you guys have about the adventure? What are some
I have a
things you're
question.
curious about? Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question on behalf of everyone because we all wanted to know, what was the doom counter gonna do?
The doom counter. Do you really want me to tell you? What if I want to hold on to
I
the doom
do-
counter and utilize it at another point in time?
Be a spooky black specter.
That's okay. I saw you as a blurred, spooky black specter in my microphone or my webcam, which is somehow
Hey,
even more
Mrs.
horrific.
Prankster.
But I knew it was you because I saw what you were wearing earlier.
Sorry.
They say hi, Mrs. Prankster.
Hi.
Hi.
Love you. I like you as friends.
She likes you as friends. Cool. All right. So what is the doom counter for? Originally, I put it there just to troll you. I just wanted to freak you out. But then I thought to myself, this can have an actual function.
Yeah.
And so the function that I kind of came to was I could subtract from the doom counter to increase my chance of a success on a roll. So I'm going to keep that because I think it'll be fun. All right. Any
In
other
that
questions?
case, I think you need to be a little less petty about things. Because that's a lot of numbers there, Prankster.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
At least 7 of those were from me.
Yeah.
Does that mean we can take off the petty GM counter to make a roll more difficult for...
No. The petty GM counter just adds to the doom counter. This is how it works. I get to subtract from both because I am the petty GM.
In that case,
I got a question.
Yeah.
The storage unit. Why
Okay.
was the coffin and the little boy in there?
Oh, yeah.
So that's a really good question. I believe. Let me double check here. Because they have all of this information right off the bat. They don't outright say why the coffin is in there. However, given who has visited it, I believe it was Arthur Donnelly dug him up.
Is that because of the notes and stuff that he wrote? Saying that the
One of
Tuesday
the
boy
notes-
wasn't.
yeah, I was gonna say one of the notes said that he wasn't not dead ? So maybe he was just curious about it.
Yeah, so I think what
Oh,
ended
yeah,
up.
because Arthur Donnelly spoke to me.
Yeah, so do you remember that little boy that sprayed water into your face, Constance?
Oh yeah.
That was on Anton Turi.
Yeah.
And so I think what ended up happening is Arthur Donnelly spent a lot of quiet time in the house, and he saw some of the same apparitions as you. And he's like, but he's dead. And he went and he had to like dig up the grave to convince himself that no, he's actually dead. So it became this like, what is going on? Did that help?
Yes.
Cool.
Okay, any other
I'm
questions?
looking through all my notes right now to see what I want to ask.
Absolutely. No, that's totally fair. Actually, I tell you what, why don't I do this? Why don't I read the introduction as well as the house on Spooner Avenue, what I have here, and then maybe that will answer some of the questions for you. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
So some of the secret information that only GMs get. So if you're ever planning on running this for your friends, well, I guess that'd be okay if you're a GM. Just don't share it with them. Here we go. So introduction. Places like people sometimes go wrong. They turn off the path and head into the shadows, becoming something other than normal. Black places filled with blank rooms, closed doors, and empty hallways lined with dust. In these places, your voice catches in your throat. The air seems to hum, and bad things happen. People get hurt. Objects vanish. Misery flows like water from the loose faucet in the bathroom. Hate hangs in the air like old paint. It smells of time and circumstance and something just a little beyond the world. It smells like surrender. The house at 1206, 37 Celaleo Walk, is a place gone wrong. In the last 50 years, 18 people have died there, and you can feel it. You walk in, and it's like dropping 30 fathoms underwater. It's suddenly dark and cold and pressure-filled. Doors in 37 Celaleo Walk stay shut, and no one ever hears a child's laughter at night. In the hours that stretch like taffy after 2, no one ever hears music from a darkened room. No one sees a woman walking behind the glass of a bathroom mirrors. Still, pretenses remain. You shut your eyes and pretend the world is ordered, like a puzzle whose pieces are square and plain. You pretend a lot of things. You pretend you're pretending. I can only read this in the Twilight Zone voice, by the way. Until in the dark, the hand falls on your shoulder. Spooner Avenue is a quiet street. 37 Celaleo Walk is a quiet street that cuts a diagonal slash through Hollowbrook, Coventry. 37 Celaleo Walk is a small house built in 1907 and amended with additional construction in the 1940s. It is wholly unremarkable in appearance. Few notice anything past the vibrant growth of ivy that scales the north face of the house, but the neighbors are not fooled. The neighborhoods are predominantly retirees who have long memories. Most were born in Hollowbrook and lived here all their lives. All have heard about the deaths at 37 Celaleo Walk. In fact, it's a water cooler topic across all of Hollowbrook. The rumors began almost half a century ago, around 1960, with the murder-suicide of Douglas and Margaret Crease. The house began to gain a reputation. At first, it was simply the kind of nervous rumor that makes a horrible incident more palatable. Later, as the bodies slowly piled up, it became more certain. Today, it's simply a fact. The house is evil. Its neighbors know this in the way one knows the sky is blue or that water quenches the thirst. It is certainty. After the Crease's deaths, 16 people have met their ends at 37 Celaleo Walk. Only one of those deaths was due to neither accident nor violence. The rest have been an uncanny chain of suicides, accidents, and murder. Somehow, the house has been continually sold and resold as far back as the Crease's deaths. No break in inhabitants lasting more than a month. Neighbors believe the house has a draw to it, a pull. Dr. George Weaver, the last local drawn to it, bought the house on a whim in the summer of 1972. He died 9 days later in an electrical accident. Since then, no locals ever go to the open houses, held by realty agents who explore the daylit halls of 37 Celaleo Walk with unaccountable enthusiasm. To those who live on Celaleo Walk, the house is to be avoided, a dead zone best rushed past, especially at night. Its neighbors know the house is alive. That was the intro.
So it is fucking Monster House. I knew it.
So, all right, so I'll let you guys ask more questions before I just, spill.
I got some more questions.
Go ahead.
So, what was the world behind the mirrors?
Okay, so, the crone, when she took away Isabel's pain, she took all of it into this world that she created with the help of the Darkman, and shoved all of her pain and all of it in there. And so even though Isabel, I tried to do this with her diary, even though Isabel was alive, she was seeing herself in the mirror, but not quite herself. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It was this whole part of her.
Dorian Gray-esque.
Yeah, very Dorian Gray-esque. And so all of her pain, all of this was there behind the mirror in this world. So eventually when you guys targeted the mirrors, that was it. That was it.
I got another question.
Go for it. Give me them.
So you remember when we put cameras up in the house?
Yes.
And we recognized the old man that knocked them over?
Uh-huh.
Was that the old man from across the street that we talked to?
It was a neighbor that you talked to.
Why did he?
Why?
Why did he do that?
The house, and this will give a lot away, answer a lot of questions. The house has the ability to make people obsessed with it, and it even has the ability.
And he was protecting the house.
And the house even has the ability to possess people. So,
Right.
do you remember when I said a neighbor put out the fire at the house?
Yeah.
That was the house possessing a neighbor to come and put out the fire.
Damn.
And
I got two. Sorry.
go ahead.
I was gonna say I got two questions. Number one? What was with the phone calls? I know it was the house, but why?
I'll read it to you, man. Let's see here.
Because it was so cool.
Here we go. 37 Celaleo Walk is fueled by the rage and hatred of the beings that inhabit it. Those beings draw strength from the fear and despair of visitors. Isabel Wheeler was the first person trapped behind the reflections at 37 Celaleo Walk. Since then, she has collected souls to inhabit the dark world on the far side of the glass with her. Once the agents enter 37 Celaleo Walk, the house goes out of its way to incite them to return, preferably alone. It makes phone calls to hotels or private cell phones, and it even sends emails or text messages spinning believable reasons for an agent to return alone. It mimics the voices of fellow agents who have visited the house. It cannot spoof sender phone numbers or email addresses, but it may claim to be using a temporary number or address for security. The house is decidedly clever. On the surface, these calls and messages seem completely sound, such as when Emil Yera was like, I'm here, come on down, I need you. I think one of you even heard a call from one another. Only agents who take extra care in communication security, such as requiring a code from agents communicating over the phone or questioning a message carefully enough to catch the house in a lie, finds the house lacking in its imitation, which you guys did. After the agents discover its mimicry, the house toys with them. It calls back often, allowing the agents to speak with the dead, including Special Agent Donnelly, George Crease, Anton Touré, and agents who've died within. If I killed Ava, I was going to have her call you afterwards, which I totally thought I was going to do when I sucked her into the mirror.
Yeah.
I was going to have Ava just torture you guys. The house is
so cool.
And it's a sanity loss when this happens, one on a failed attempt, one on a 1d4. So when the house figured out that you guys had knew what was going on, it turned from trying to lure you to trying to just terrorize you.
I didn't even think about that. I was just like, dude, stop talking about this fucking mission on the phone. That's stupid.
I know, but it was you guys did a couple of things accidentally that kind of triggered some of these other things. So a lot of the times when you guys were like, when I would be like, okay, I need a moment to think about this, or I need a moment to read. A lot of it was me trying to interpret. How do I, they're not consciously doing this to do this thing, but I need to, this is what the text has told me. And so I was trying to figure out, how do I adapt this to the situation at hand? But yeah, the house especially likes to startle agents with phone calls during other manifestations, which is what happened to Constance when she went there alone. It tries to distract, confuse, or surprise them to hopefully gain the upper hand and keep them off guard.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then my second question was, what other ways could that have ended?
You could have done the human sacrifice. Do you want me to? Do you want me to read to you what happens?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my God,
100%.
It's so terrible. The ritual calls the Dark Man, who's known only by his secret name, Nyar Lath Otep. First, 200 HP worth of animals must be sacrificed every year over a period of many years. On the nights of the new moon, all sacrifices must be made with the bronze bowl and knife hidden in Isabel Wheeler's antique end table or ones identical to them. At least 2 supplicants must be present and ready to offer their lives to the Dark Man. If he appears, the process is not perfect. Sometimes the Dark Man does not appear. The ritual describes simply another process that... Okay, so then dismissing the Dark Man. First off, all these rituals, the first one just to bring the Dark Man costs 1d10 sanity, and then dismissing the Dark Man is 1d just to start it up, 1d6 sanity. It takes an hour of this chanting. The ritual to dismiss the Dark Man can be learned separately from Convoce Laumo Nero. It must be conducted on the ground previously consecrated to the Dark Man, which should have been the house. Those present must conduct a ritual human sacrifice using the bronze bowl and knife hidden in Isabel Wheeler's antique end table, or ones identical to them. A human sacrifice costs 1d10 sanity from everybody present. Being adapted to violence has no effect on this sanity test, and the one who actually kills the victim automatically fails. The ritual's operator must also expend 10 willpower and 3 permanent POW between them. The lead operator must also fail a sanity test to activate the ritual. If that fails, activating the ritual costs another point of permanent POW. The Dark Man always comes to a dismissal, and he will be most displeased with the turn of events. Just when the agents are sure they have killed someone for no reason, all lights fade out but the most dim of flames. A shape rises from the shadows of a corner, perhaps near the fireplace. It slowly seems to unfold into a much bigger form, which reveals the presence of a man with completely matte black skin. Only the chin of this being is visible. Its eyes are lost in the darkness like a cloak. It speaks in the language of those present, Who calls me? The mere presence. So when you were in the armoire, you heard this ritual going on, which means that you heard. You remember the scream? Human sacrifice? Well, actually, that wasn't the human sacrifice. I'll get to this part in a second. The mere presence of the entity is terrifying. No one in the room can consider any mode of action except to either struggle through the rest of the ritual, to stop and flee, or to stop and surrender in abject worship to the Dark Man. Sanity loss 1d8. 1 or 1d8. Agents who go temporarily insane shut down in a complete helpless fugue, staring in helpless awe. If the agents continue with the ritual, chanting its phrases from memory and from pages of Isabel Wheeler's diary, the Dark Man commands them to stop. It threatens dire consequences. If they finish the ritual, the Dark Man laughs mockingly and vanishes. The house has been purged of its influence in all hauntings, and each agent gains 1d8 sanity. If the operators conduct the ritual and sacrifice but do not pay the willpower and power costs, the Dark Man appears and transforms into a more terrible form. It rises as an immense, roiling, bloody, tentacled shape that seems to evoke in witnesses' minds a sense of vastness and hungers of the utterly alien life that surrounds and transcends ephemeral humanity that shrieks hideously before vanishing. The sanity loss, if you succeed, is 1d10. The sanity loss, if you fail, is 1d100.
Oh my god.
The dismissal... This dismissal.
That answers the question that I had.
Oh, because I told you there was a chance. Yeah, that's right. I remember. Yeah. So I was like, I wasn't certain how this is going to go. But yeah, there's a chance you could just go permanently insane from this.
Damn.
From my side, I have a little secret to share.
Sure.
That we obviously talked about. There was 3 stages of the Elder Sign thing. And I don't know if this is something that may come back, so I don't know if you want me to talk about it or.
That's fine. Go ahead.
But obviously there was the hand signal that was didn't cost much, and there was the pen or the carving that Booch did that was that costed 2 power and sanity. And then there was the 3rd stage, which is the most potent engraving of the Elder Sign requires a sacrifice of 100 power by the engraver, who must sacrifice at least 2 power personally. Having the craft skill as well. So it comes from the engraver, ritual chanters, or human sacrifices over the course of 24 hours. 100 power.
Yeah. Yeah, well, she was suggesting that to the Delta Green handler.
No, I know. It was absolute last ditch. I had to try it.
Yeah. And there is I love this.
She just didn't want to kill anyone. And then something he said, she was like, oh my god, the mirrors.
Yeah.
It clicked for me.
That, by the way, was the reason I gave that to you was because of the somebody expended points in chat to give you a help. And so what I had the handler say something to the effect of we had to realize where the
source of it.
Where the source of all of it was coming from, and the Elder Sign was particularly strong against it or something. And because I remember you going, oh! You make that sound whenever you, I
was excited.
Yeah, no, I'm not making fun of you. It's I do the same thing.
So I got another question.
I got a question though.
Let's get Aya go first, and then then Irish.
I was gonna say, because we were on the subject of the mirrors. Back when Ava got sucked into the mirror or pulled into the mirror, and she typed out something on her phone and held it up to show Bo, and it said "Smash the mirror, smash it now." What would have happened if Bo had smashed the mirrors then, or that mirror then?
If you would have been, if she would have smashed the mirror, based on my reading of this and the whole alternate dimension, you still would have been in the mirror. It would have been entirely ineffective.
bear in mind there was no elder sign around at that time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what happens if you smash the mirror without it?
So what would have happened?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Like, would they come and attack?
Would who come and attack?
The ghosties?
The who?
The ghosts?
No.
Like, if those started smashing the mirrors, and there was no elder sign to keep them back, would they come and try and, like, stop her?
You wouldn't have smashed the mirrors, though, because you were obsessed with the house. So that
No, I
was,
know, but
at that point in time, I'd already
she
got you.
wasn't- Yeah.
Oh,
But
if she wasn't, she would have,
Yeah.
the house would have attempted to exert influence. It would have repeated the cycle. Whether or not it would have
Right,
been
okay.
you as an agent or some other neighbor or realtor, like, it's funny because, like, here's the end. Here's one possible thing. The investigation only comes to an end when the agents successfully lift the consecration or give up. If the agents manage to burn the house down, they learn several months later that a dazed new landowner has begun constructing an identical house on the spot, along with floor-to-ceiling mirrors in the master bedroom. The realization costs all agents who abandon the fight 1 or 1d4 sanity. Once the house is repaired or rebuilt, it won't be long before the deaths continue.
So smashing the mirrors, did that, like, stop it completely? Did that, like, cure everything?
So that's
like, so if someone come back and rebuilt mirrors in that room, would it just start over?
So this is where things get a little bit difficult, because so it's literally outlawed pushing for a ritual to expel Marlene, because I remember we had that conversation. And I was looking at all of the sample rituals that are available in the Delta Green Handler's Guide, and the only one that came close, there were two. One was exorcism, and that was like a temporary thing. Like you shove it out of its body, but it can go find something else. And she was saying she was looking for a more permanent thing. Out of all the sample rituals that I read through, the one that came closest to what she was describing was the Elder Sign. Because like we've read it, it's the only thing that like expels something out of a person and also like destroys it or gets rid of it in a more like permanent type manner. So this is because of that whole Marlene thing and because of Outlaw, because it also presents this for removing the consecration. Elder Sign. This solution is suggested nowhere in the house or its history. But if the agents are familiar with the Elder Sign, it's a potent weapon against the forces that haunt Spooner Avenue. Bringing one into the house at night causes all hell to break loose. The house, sensing danger, flings manifestation after manifestation at the agents and tries to seize control of them. If the mirrors in the master bedroom are smashed with the Elder Sign, the feeling of occupation fades and eventually dissipates, completely leaving only a mundane house behind. The Elder Sign then crumbles into dust and the consecration is broken. Now, I had to make a decision as the GM. Hey, buddy. What's up? What's wrong?
Oh, my pinky toe really
Oh, did you stub it? I'm sorry, buddy.
No, it just really
Not the toe.
I'm sorry about your
That's the
pinky toe.
worst.
Okay, I won't touch it. So, as a GM, I had to make a call, because the text here specifically says like you smash the mirrors with the Elder Sign. I knew when you were engraving the pens, like you couldn't smash a mirror with a pen. Like that's just not. But one of the provisions within the actual ritual of the Elder Sign is that like it just being in the presence of a being, like saps it of its willpower.
Yeah.
That it says that in the text. Like Outlaw and I went over it several times. And so I made the call, especially when Booch came in there, because he had the other pen. I was like, there are two Elder Signs in here. Both of them are sapping this thing. I think that would be enough to like just like pull out whatever bad juju, destroy, to help recon, as well as the destruction of the mirrors. And I just made that call as a GM because I was like, I felt like that was kind of like a fair part, because I didn't want to like, sometimes you just got to make those judgment calls. Yeah.
It was very cool.
Yeah,
Very
I was.
cinematic. I liked it.
I was really happy that you got there. I wasn't certain how it was going to go down.
I almost didn't.
Yeah, that's funny how a few die rolls, right?
A few. It was just the one. Why did you roll a 5? You bastard.
I made that decision though when you entered the house. I was like, we're ending this, and this either they're going to kill the house or the house is going to kill them.
Nice.
Can I
I'm
throw
not
us under
gonna
the
lie,
bus real quick?
I was kind of rooting for the house.
Can you throw us? Can you? Yeah, go ahead. Throw us under the bus.
When Booch got in there, he didn't have the pen.
No, but
He
Linus
had
did come
given
in the
it
room
to
as well.
Linus.
Linus
yeah.
came in too.
But
so.
Linus did come into the room. That's true.
Okay.
That's true.
We good.
That's fair.
Yeah.
We're still good? Okay, cool. We're not going to retcon? Okay, we're good.
Irish had a question earlier, and I don't want to forget that she had that question, if she still remembers it.
I think it was the D100 thing.
Oh, got you. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Was there anything big that we missed?
I don't feel like there can be. We were so thorough.
You were pretty friggin' thorough. I had there's like, so it's funny because like literally 10 pages of this are just the different manifestations that I can throw at you while you're in the house. The whole module is like 34 pages long.
If you had to pick the nastiest manifestation in your opinion, what would it be?
Oh, I was totally going to use it. It was in the master bedroom. So it all depended on your willpower. That was another thing. Your willpower dictated the types of manifestations I can throw at you. If somebody was at an 11 or lower, I actually tried to throw this at you at the end. Isabel Wheeler appears to an agent entering the room alone. She stands on the far side of the mirror with no analog and physical space. Smiling a bitter old woman's smile, she slowly unfolds a straight razor. The agent must make an alertness or dodge roll, or suffer 1d8 plus 2 damage as she swipes at the razor. Although Isabel has no duplicate in the real world, the razor does. It floats off the ground, mimicking where Wheeler is holding it in the mirror. The only way to avoid another attack is to flee the room or destroy the razor. So, if one of you came
that
alone...
was the thing that...
And I took full
The other
damage from
guy-
his throwing it instead, man.
So is that apparition what actually killed the other agent?
Yes, that is the apparition that killed
Okay.
Agent Donnelly. Because it did two things. You kind of have to read between the lines on some of this, but I think what ends up happening is the house gets Donnelly infatuated. It possesses him. It orders him to sit down in the master bedroom. Isabel Wheeler comes out and slices his throat, and he can't do anything about it. Which could have happened to any of you as well.
I kind of like assume that all these people dying was, it was Isabel Wheeler or something in the house killing them in order to bring the Dark Man back.
So
Because they wanted to commune with them. Really?
Yeah. No, it was just
What was the point in them dying?
It was the rage and anger of the house. There was just no end. There's just no end. That's
She
all
wanted
it knew.
friends on the other side of the mirror.
Yeah, Agent Donnelly was with her on the other side of the mirror, as was Anton Touré, and then
As was Ava, and then Bo pulled her out.
yeah, Ava would have been. You could have actually drowned. That was a possibility as well.
Yeah,
Everything in the master bedroom was
getting
terrible.
kind of close.
Yeah,
I got another question.
sure.
Who, you know when the house like possessed Bo and Ava, was that just like a random roll from you, or was it like a calculated thing, or?
It was a calculated. Well, I think I did roll for. The first one was a roll, and I came up with you.
Right.
And then afterwards, I kind of justified it, and I was like, actually, that makes sense. She's clearly the most physically strong. So if there's one person she'd want on her side, that makes sense. And then I got Ava when she was doing the
Ouija board thing?
the Ouija board. When she was in there all alone and you were just looking, that's when I got her. I was like, it makes perfect sense. She's all alone. Nobody else is there. It's perfect. So that's when I got her. And I think like at that point in time, she was trying to like figure out how to also work that in.
So was she actually talking to people with the Ouija board, or was it just the house fucking with her?
It's Arthur Donnelly. Or the house. One or the other. And he said it, I asked who it was, and I got the response, Arthur Donnelly.
It's gonna really hurt for a while.
I can't remember what I asked next.
Totally the house
and I got the response, save me.
Oh yeah, no, Isabel Wheeler is just
sacrifice.
Yeah, Isabel Wheeler is decidedly clever, is what it said. So it would try to play on people's emotions, and so like it would bring out Anton Touré to get people to feel sorry, and then it would bring out Anthony Donnelly to cause despair, or not Anthony, Arthur.
So it was just the house messing with her with the Ouija board.
Yeah, the house is totally So I, at first I wasn't gonna have the Ouija board do anything because I was like, it's electronic. This is ridiculous. But you kept pushing for it, so I was just like, I remember it. I was so annoyed.
Awesome idea.
I was like, fine. You want the house to communicate with you? Fine. You're obsessed with it now. You're obsessed with it, Ava.
The ad breaks fucking killed me. It was
I'm glad you like that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I got two little quick questions, and then I'm mindful of the fact that Vindo and Willie haven't asked many, so I'm going to shut up after that. Two-part, but the same kind of situation. Did the hand gesture thing actually work? And also, would I have died if I didn't get out the window?
Okay, did the hand gesture actually work?
Or would I have been tried to be taken over or whatever?
So to go back to the mimicry, like it becomes enraged when you know what's going on. And then also, like, when the elder sign is brought into the house, it also says that the house becomes enraged. Yeah. So when you did the sign with your hand, I wasn't exactly sure. I was like, this isn't like her bringing a physical object in. But it's enough, I think, for the house, for its hackles to get up and be like, this isn't right. Like, this is the equivalent of a bee sting. Like, ow! And like, no, this cannot happen again. And so yes, it did have an actual effect. When we rolled for how long it would last, I think it was 2d6 rounds, and we rolled a 1 and a 2. So you only had 3 rounds for it to exist. So I was wondering about whether I knew that when you would get away, you would be questioning how effective it was. But it was only because you rolled low on how long it would last.
Yeah, if I'd rolled high, I may not have stayed long enough to know.
Correct. Absolutely correct.
It was like, clearly this had some effect because nothing could get in the door, and then suddenly, oh shit.
And so I made that decision that Isabel Wheeler was she would just be made manifest or whatever through the razor, and she was going to kill you. I was going to have her kill you.
That makes so much sense as to why she threw the razor at me rather than Ava. Like, I know Ava was kind of like under the possession as well, but there's no reason why not to kill her. She knew that I knew how to damage this house. Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you were like, you became unknowingly, you became the one that helped you guys to avoid the human sacrifice route. Like, there's this part where it says,
you're welcome, guys.
There are only 2 ways to end the consecration of the land on which this house stands. Neither of them is good. Either solution should be the climax of the investigation, which I felt like we did. And both of granted, both are not good. Like, Booch is permanently changed. However, I would argue
we didn't kill a person.
The non-human sacrifice route is still probably less worse. So yeah, I know I was 100% set on killing. I took my brass dice out and everything, and I was rolling them. And when you were like, I'm just gonna jump out, I don't even care what happens. I mean, you got lucky that you didn't gouge yourself.
Yeah,
on the glass.
I rolled a 69 on the luck.
Yeah, I was like, that's crazy. Awesome. All right, I think I answered your question. All right, and other questions. Willie, do you have any? Vindo, do you have any?
Most of my questions have already been answered.
Sure.
And like, I'm just sitting here like doing a dance like, yeah, I got that right. Yeah, I got that right. Oh, I messed that up.
Prankster hasn't answered the most important question of all.
This is true.
Did you go and put the pants on?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to end our stream. Hope you all enjoyed another.
We haven't done downtime yet, first of all.
Just kidding,
Second
just
of all,
kidding,
you
just
said we
kidding.
were going to wait till the stream.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I already have my pants on. I already have my nice dress pants on. Yep. I know it's boring.
Then I applaud you, sir.
After we had the discussion of party on top, or business on top and party on the bottom.
Party on the bottom.
I was like, no, I've got to actually put the pants on from now on, and so I did. I did not wear nice shoes though. I just wore my gym shoes. So if that helps at all. So that was fun. It was fun because a couple of times, like I was in my suit walking out to my van, and I had like the whole getup on with the glasses and the hat, and I was always like, what if somebody sees me? What are they gonna think?
They think, damn, that man looks dapper. That's what they're going to think.
Damn, he looks dapper.
Yeah.
There were 9 manifestations for each and every single room in this house.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Depending on how much
That's so
willpower you have, different things are made manifest. And then also like it's like 3 for willpower 15 or higher, 3 for 12 to 14 willpower, and 3 for 11 or less. None of you had more than 14, so I didn't have to worry about that stuff. And essentially it's like the severity. The house, like every time it scared you and you lost a sanity check, or every time you had a break, and you went temporarily insane or activated your mental issues, the house gained power and was literally like gaining willpower points.
Knew it.
Really?
And as I gained willpower points, I could have the option to possess or cause more people to become infatuated with it.
Wow. I was
Nice.
feeding it.
Yeah, you were.
You and
You
Willie
were.
both.
You
Let's
both were
go.
just you were feeding it.
Like, you hungry? I'm a buffet. Here, have another
Let's
scoop.
go. I actually have to dip out though. I have to get some stuff done.
Cool. Hey, have a good
Sorry.
one, Willie. No problem, buddy.
Bye, Willie.
Bye.
Okay.
So
any
I
other-
do have one more question.
Sure.
With Booch, I know we had talked about, like offhandedly making a comment about having Booch not like run into any of these. Was that something that you followed through on, or did I just get like stupidly lucky?
There was a little bit of both. So in the beginning, when you guys first entered the house, I was trying to stick pretty close to how the manifestations are supposed to happen, which is that they're only supposed to happen if you're alone. Booch, that first time, you were always with somebody. And so, like, you were the one that was, like, going from Bo to Constance, or from, Constance to Ava, or from, like, you were... So I could never get you alone. So that was part of it in the beginning, was just, I made, like... The circumstances made it. You had inadvertently stumbled onto the way in which the house wouldn't mess with you. Granted, I didn't tell you that.
That is such a Booch thing to do.
It really is.
Unfortunately,
It really is.
we just pissed the house off too much.
And then it became kind of a joke, and I thought, well, this is actually kind of fun. Like, I think that the house would actually be smart enough to gain an unwitting accomplice, especially like if it's on its side, and there's nothing wrong with the house. Like, I realized at some point, like, you would be gaslighting everybody for me.
Things I do for you, buddy.
Yeah, and you wouldn't even know it. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. And then eventually, when it became really clear, like when you had discovered that the house is alive, and when you guys like stopped receiving calls and all that, I made the conscious decision. I'm like, all right, the house is aware of these like sets of conditions, that its presence is actually here, that they are actively working against it with these cameras, or they're doing this and this and this. At that point, I was like, all right, the house is taking the gloves off. And at this point, any opportunity I have to kill one of them, I need to. And Constance was the one that came the closest to it, as well as Ava.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Just the battle battle scars of like Constance and Ava. It's
Yeah, that's
like,
crazy. But yeah, so cool. Do you guys have any other questions?
What was the deal with the professor guy? Was he just a dude?
Oh, this is so great.
I have a theory that he was genuinely just so ignorant and didn't know anything.
I am the most proud of this. Yarrow is a dire, overweight man who works at Fulton College, 2 towns over. As an associate professor of abnormal psychology, he became involved with Delta Green 6 years ago when an investigation of some sort of occult force killing people in an old hotel drew the conspiracy's attention in a nearby state. Yarrow managed to uncover some information that proved helpful on the hotel, and he was made a friendly. He believes Delta Green is a legal, though secret, section of the government. In truth, though, Yarrow emanates a professional attitude and an absolute knowledge of the occult. He's little more than an amateur. He has no knowledge of Cthulhu and the pre-human history of Earth. He's seen supernatural events, but pretends to have far more insight in the subject than he does. He keeps a serious attitude even when spewing out ridiculous lines about demonic possession or long-term emotional energy. Nothing he knows will help the situation at Celelia Walk, though his encyclopedic knowledge of hauntings makes him seem like an authority. Yarrow does his best to help, but does everything wrong. He encourages the agents to enter the house at night. The spirits are more able to communicate in the dark. And to wander there alone. The spirits have an easier time communicating on a one-on-one basis.
Yeah.
In short, he puts the agents and himself in mortal danger.
And I wouldn't have doubted him, purely because, like, you know, occultist to occultist, I get you. I wouldn't have doubted him if you hadn't let me roll an occult and absolutely school him in his lecture from then on. Like, literally the first
100%.
meeting, I was like, I don't believe anything he's saying.
Yep. I was so proud of myself, though, because afterwards, I walked out of there and I was like, I bullshit my heart out, and they believed every ounce of it. And I was so proud of myself.
So good, dude.
I wrote notes of what he said.
Oh, this is great. Hold on. Yarrow is a serious, authoritative, and professional. He has no time for levity in such a serious situation. When the supernatural shit hits the fan, he either flees or becomes a victim of the house's influence. If the house possesses Yarrow, he attempts to isolate and terrorize the agents one by one. He finds a wood axe, even if a careful search found nothing like it before, and attempts to attack from surprise, gaining a plus 20% to hit. When the house influence on him is discovered, he goes on a rampage. You guys kept trying to like cut him out though. And so this is one of the things that I did that I was also really proud of myself for. I had Yarrow go there on the first night. Like that was an actual time. And like on a subsequent visit, like he called up or whatever. Yeah. That wasn't him. That was the house imitating him.
Remember.
Like I'm at the house.
Yeah.
So that's why the house could imitate him, because he'd actually gone.
Yes. Oh, here's another thing. You guys were using the code word "A Night at the Opera."
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Arthur Donnelly was absorbed. A Delta Green agent.
Of course.
And so when you mentioned it, I was like, she knows. She knows.
Nice.
Goddamn.
So it was perfect. I was like, I had all these like little epiphanies in my mind where I was like, son of a bitch. Yeah, so it was some pretty fun stuff. Good question. I almost forgot about Emil. Any other questions you guys have?
How come, when the police arrived, how come the house didn't attack when the police arrived?
Because it's
it's smart because the police have been there. Too many people. Police have been there dozens of times before for other murders and accidents and stuff, and so it knows when to act and it knows when to lure people in. It knows when to. So and that was part of like you were joking about it early about me like gaslighting you, but that is like the way that this is represented is like the house is incredibly clever and smart and will do absolutely that to gaslight you.
You took them to the river, right?
Yeah.
So where?
Hey, I was joking, but it also was like so perfect.
Yeah.
because
That
of what was going on. And like everyone was in different rooms, so no one else would have believed what you saw because only you saw it.
Yeah, and that's why I tried to change up the manifestations that you guys saw too, because I was like, I want it to, it's like, and one of the manifestations. Do you remember like you open up the closet and there was like filled with corpses or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah.
That
And then
was
I opened it up and there was something else in there.
Yeah. So some of it was just like meant to screw with you. That room was supposed to emanate like different smells to every single person that came in there. So like one person would smell this, another person would smell this, another person would smell that. So it's like you never could. Yeah, it
Get
was
the story straight.
Yeah, it was so gosh darn tricky.
That's cool.
I made the decision though after Constance flashed the Elderstein. I was like, the next time they come in here, the house is going to try and kill them.
Yeah, like that's going to be the showdown.
Yeah, 100%. I was like, because I mean, at that point, you guys showed your hand.
I mean, it kind of was because the time after that was when Ava went in with the Ouija board, and it did try, but the only two people in the house were the two people that were under its influence.
Yeah, and I found ways of like,
was.
You guys also kept like getting separated and stuff, and yeah, it was crazy. When both you and Ava were in there at the same time, when Bo and Ava were in there at the same time, and I think it was just Linus in there alone. Maybe Booch was there, I don't recall, but I just meant, this is 2-on-2. I was like, unfortunately, like the one thing that none of you really triggered the getting possessed.
First, I'm just using this because I got a rug burn.
Okay.
And, can I reset the router?
In a few minutes. Okay, buddy?
Okay.
So yeah, none of you really hit the requirements for possession. Because it essentially
Bo got pretty close.
Bo got pretty close.
Dude,
Well, that
I
was
would've loved to have been possessed. That would be so fucking cool.
so.
No, my friend.
What's crazy is there's like if you crit fail the obsession check, you essentially become under the permanent sway of the house of possession. Period. Which is crazy. What I had a hard time with at the end as a GM, and I was talking with Bo, with Irish as well as Aya behind the scenes, was you guys were in possession of the Elder Sign. And part of the issue of the Elder Sign is like if there's an entity that's within like the range of it, like it doesn't necessarily nullify it because it becomes painful to the entity.
It's like a power drain.
Exactly. And so what's one of the I would have absolutely possessed Bo in the end. In fact, I was planning on it. I was planning on taking control of Bo and having her kill all of you. But the Elder Sign really threw a wrench into the works because I wasn't certain, like, I was like, can it still exert influence over when she's within the range of it? Because like the way
two of them.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, how is it going to like get in there? You know what I'm saying? To possess, to manipulate. Yeah. So I kind of settled on you're still obsessed. You still want to hurt your friends, but 1, you're cognizant of it. 2, I'm going to give you the ability to resist it. And 3, you're like fighting against it, which is what Irish did in the end. So there's
what you don't know,
very
Krista,
cool.
is since I failed that power check, if Linus hadn't have like sedated her, she was fully gonna get out that knife and stab Booch.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah.
Linus
also-
literally saved everybody.
So I also DM'd Prankster to remind him that I had the bronze bowl and the knife, and if Ava didn't back up after the pepper spray, I was gonna go Christina Jacobs on her and try and stab her.
Ow.
If she was gonna fight back, I was gonna pull out the knife.
Please bleed into the bowl for me.
Which would have accidentally been a sacrifice with the bronze knife.
I was just trying to get rid of the Elder Sign because you were making things worse. The house was like crazy,
So
man.
it's a good job Ava didn't attack because we could have accidentally summoned a really powerful entity.
Oh, that's a thing that you guys missed. You could have actually gone to. Do you remember Elise Touré, the sister of Anton.
Yeah.
You interviewed her. You could have also gone to France and interviewed her parents. They have provisions for it. So technically, this all takes place in like the actual module is written for like New Jersey, and so the parents moved back to Montreal, and so I figured that's Paris
is basically France.
Yeah. But the mom is in like full-time committed.
Yeah.
And the dad just like doesn't want to talk about it. He's a retired electrical engineer. He lives in the house. He lost both his son Anton and his wife. He's a bitter old man who spends his time caring for his wife at Douglas Hospital Research Center. He is a volatile, stubborn old man who lapses into French when angered. He refuses to talk of such nonsense as the notion of it being haunted. He does his best to shelter his wife from any outside contact. Rebecca is a long-term patient. Only family members, guests of family, and people who get permission from her case supervisor can contact her. She's completely insane. She speaks often in French of the woman in the house who wants to kill my boy and the man with the rifle. Rebecca's mental state was fragile back then, and that allowed the entities that haunt Spooner Avenue to manipulate her perceptions. She endured nearly a year of growing visions, culminating with a full-on hallucination of George Crease erasing his head with a shotgun in the kitchen. After her first committal, she returned home where the problems began once more. When her son Anton drowned in the toilet of the master bedroom, Rebecca completely lost her mind. Falling into a nearly catatonic state, her husband moved back to Quebec, had her committed. Doctors find her case fascinating, but they don't believe she'll ever be able to leave the hospital.
So what you're telling me is we missed out on Prankster having to do a French
insane person
accent.
French accent. Yeah. I don't feel like we missed it. We definitely got it in Wildermyth.
That's true. That's true.
One thing that they're... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, this isn't a question, but I want to commend you, Prankster, for using my backstory, what happened with the baby in the last campaign, to keep throwing the kid at me. Like, so many manifestations for me were the kid. And thank you for that, because that was driving her insane.
I'm glad. That's
like,
awesome.
She would take any opportunity to be, like, trying to comfort this thing that was kept attacking her.
So... Yeah, that's crazy. The whole thing is like a super mind f. And by the way, this one was written by Dennis Detweiler. I should totally drop his name. He's very active on Twitter. He's definitely helped me. Like, I've asked him questions. He's super cool. He's written and illustrated. So any like a lot of the pictures I've shown, like including the stuff on like the intro video, are stuff that he has written or not written, created.
That's nice.
Dennis Detweiler. Oh no, that's not him. Oh, from the last campaign, Dennis Detweiler. Dennis Detweiler. Yeah, he does a lot of the artwork. But yeah, he was super helpful. One thing that they're not clear about is who actually drowns Anton. And even this is kind of unclear. I'm not certain if it was that Anton was possessed and then he drowned himself, or if if Elise became possessed and then drowned Anton, the little girl. Because one of the things that they say is that she had this like penchant for violence and stuff, and they don't know where it came from. And so I wasn't certain if it was
she was like a troubled kid.
Yeah. And they kind of talk about it a little bit in some places, but I think it was in part like, I wasn't certain if it was just like, this is how the kid is like adapted. Like you get kids who are bullies and it's because there's like stuff going on at home. Right. And so like there's clearly something going on at home. So I wasn't certain if that was it or if it was actually the house kind of manipulating her.
Interesting.
But yeah, she like saw stuff as a child, like walking around. So sorry, go ahead.
I don't know. It was just thanks for throwing. Like it felt very personal. I'm
glad you liked it. I'm glad you had fun.
Yeah.
I loved how Ava's roles just kept lining up with like the stuff that she'd been experiencing in the house. Like she seemed to fail rolls and things like that with the right things, you know. Like after the whole gunshot thing in the house, like as soon as something to do with the gunshots was brought up, and then she failed that sanity roll as well. So, you know, it just kept sort of making sense.
Yeah, no, I think it did too. I thought it was fantastic how it was all like working
even
together.
right at the end there with the like with the sanity gain on burning the mirror frames.
Yeah, I was, you know, the adventure doesn't permit that. Like, well, I shouldn't say permit. It doesn't state like burning it or whatever. But I was just thinking about it from y'all's perspective, and I just thought, I think you would get something back.
I was gonna say, given the last campaign, and like there were definitely some good job you did this, you feel better about it, here's some sanity. Yeah. Considering how draining this campaign was, I feel brutalized by the lack of what?
Yeah, so
I feel like shit.
Dude, and that's part of like, that's just part of Delta Green. Like, it is not. Yeah, it's not intended to ever, like, Dennis. Like, I've read some interviews and they're like, we don't care if it's fair. They're like, it's not supposed to be fair.
No, I love it.
They are normal people up against cosmic horrors that have existed for millions of years. You're damn right, it's not fair. So,
yeah, I love it.
Yeah, no, me too. I thought they did a fantastic job on it. Cool. So do you guys have any other questions before we put a pin in this? Going once.
I don't think so.
Going twice. All right.
Is there anything we haven't covered that you wanted to share?
I think we pretty much got it all. I mean, there's a chance you like can get into a fight with like the police. You know. So that's kind of fun. But yeah, you guys pretty much like hit all you guys pretty much did everything. There's like a couple little like information things you could have gotten, I think, about other previous inhabitants of the house. But I mean, at that point in time, I think you guys have painted enough of a picture to know like house bad. Yeah, house bad.
We are our own worst enemy because like we're so thorough. And that's great. Like, we obviously are big on the roleplay rather than the fighting and things like that. We're so thorough to the point that we force ourselves to have such low sanity all the time because we just got to learn.
Yeah. Well, and you know, here's the thing about like Delta Green, and there's another game system called Paranoia, and it's very similar. And it's like, as a player, you don't know all the rules. And you don't know all the things going on behind the scenes, and you don't know, and that's that's intended because because that sense of mystery, that sense of not knowing everything, that sense of just like punching above your weight, like all of it contributes to the horror aspect of the genre, just the unknown and uncertainty and what the heck is going on. You know, all of that is 100% just intended. It's a lot different than, say, like Pathfinder, where it's like, you know, here are the rules for like all the things. And like, even if you find out a monster, you can kind of know the rules. Like, you can get a knowledge check to find out their weaknesses, their strengths, you know, how to like fight them, so on and so forth. But in this, it's like, you barely even know what's going on even at the end. Like, that's part of the reason why we've debriefed so much of this, is because there's like so many questions, and it's like, how did this work? And you know, the whole thing. So
yeah, well, it seems like we spend so much time and we try and find out so much stuff, but the piecing it together is kind of not. That's the difficult bit, I think. It's like we find out all this information, but how does it fit into the bigger picture, you know?
Yeah. And honestly, that's the one thing I really had to practice with this game more than any other game, is just not saying too much. As a GM, like that's
Let us try and figure it out.
yeah, that's my, like, there's so many times I can't tell you what I've been like, you gotta but every piece in me is just like, you just gotta shut up, Chris. Like, shut up. Let their minds screw with themselves. And that's half the fun. Because if I did give you the answers too.
Enemy.
Yeah, well, and if I did give you all the answers, it'd be far less rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
So
one final question.
Sure. Shoot.
Can I, as Constance, she is coming out of this believing that, you know, things are solved as far as she can tell, like it feels different in there. Can I do an unnatural roll to see how confident she is in that and how much she would be obsessed with checking up on news on the house, like seeing who's moved in there, seeing what's going on with it?
Sure. I think that'd be fun. Go ahead and roll me a unnatural check. You can all, yeah, unnatural.
And if she critically fails, then she's okay. So she's gonna be pretty unsure. I was gonna say if she critically fails, she's gonna be a little obsessed.
So, okay, I think I'm gonna, oh yeah, Count Babula, yeah. That's part of what we were doing, is just kind of like dishing on all the extra details and behind the scenes stuff and questions that they had, and just answering them.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. Do you plan on bringing Constance back if and when we play Delta Green again in the future?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm bringing Bo back too.
Bringing Bo back. Booch?
Yes.
Okay. Ava?
No.
I drove one enough insane
I don't
to get
think
her.
she'd
I'll count that as a
survive
player
if she
kill.
tried. Yeah, definitely.
She's too paranoid. Fuck her.
Sure.
I refuse to work with this lady again.
But
So,
Ava's got plans for like what she's
Sure.
doing here on out.
Yeah.
And I guess because she's not really gonna have a proper downtime or anything.
Sure.
I mean, if you don't mind, I'll go over them.
Yeah, so here's what we're gonna do. Let's do a small. We're not gonna do downtime, but we're gonna do like a small epilogue. Like, where do we see?
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna really say a whole lot aside from just, if you're like, hey, Eric Hayes is here. Like, I'll play as Eric Hayes, right? But on the whole, I'm gonna let you guys describe where your characters are, what they're doing, and what's going on, and we'll go from there. And we're going to end it there without doing downtime. I know I talked about it before the stream, but I think it would be wise in hindsight to not do downtime, just because I have some other things I need to take care of too.
Yeah.
IRL.
Sounds good.
And, like, session 0 again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, why don't you... I tell you, since Ava's going to get retired, we'll come back to her last.
Getting retired.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe something else happens terrible. I don't know. Her sanity's pretty low though, 30. So I can only imagine there's a lot of counseling in her
29.
future.
It went up to 29. It was down at 24.
Man, that's like that's bad. Actually, I say we'll roll for it I'll roll a D4, and we'll just let the die decide. Because that's how we do everything on this stream. Let the die decide. So 1 will be Ava, 2 will be Bo, 3 will be Constance, 4 will be Booch. 2. Bo. Where do we see Bo after all of this? What's going on?
I think Bo would just go back to work in the military. Maybe take a week off before she went back. Take some time to, like, relax. Clear her mind a bit. Maybe go on a hike somewhere.
Do a bit of swimming.
Swim just a little bit, gotta get back up to speed with her swim,
Sure.
But I think she would just generally go back to work and just focus on our job.
Sure.
try and like keep in contact with everyone as usual. Every couple of days, send a text out, be a phone call here and there.
I like it. Do a D6 for this next one. 1, 2, Ava. 3, 4, Constance. 5, 6, Booch. Where do we see Booch?
So the power loss, is that something that he can ever get back?
No, it's permanent.
It's permanent? Okay.
I believe so.
So you can't up your power with your stat thing?
Oh, I suppose actually that's true. There's like training you can actually do in between.
I mean, the
get
loss is
more
still
power.
permanent, but yeah.
Right. I think he would notice his notes aren't as detailed, his colors aren't as crisp. So that would be something that he would be looking into to get back to where he was before all of this happened.
Trail mix just hits different now.
Right? It just maybe it's not as many M&Ms. Maybe it's just regular peanuts, not honey roasted peanuts.
Sure.
So, you know, that's what he is looking at trying to do, is get back that lost luster. And I think it would kind of be like less visits to Cousin Tony's deli. Like being more snippy with his neighbor. And the realization hits when he goes to see like Frank the Tank, the lizard at the zoo that he sponsors. He's like, something's missing in me. He's never gonna get like he is going to keep that pen on him at all times. Like, it is now as important, if not more important, than, you know, the wallet, watch, and keys check that, you know, you do when you leave the house.
Like a safety blanket.
Right. He'll probably, you know, answer the texts and send out some of his own texts for the crew. Probably paying a little extra attention to Ava because of what went down. Whether or not she responds back, that's, you know, he's I guess trying to alleviate some guilt that way. But yeah, like, probably took an extra week off. Went and picked up that pen from the antique lady. Definitely.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of where he's at.
Okay. Thank you. All right, last die roll. 1, 2, 3 is Ava. 4, 5, 6 is Constance. Not on my mouse pad. Constance.
Right. Constance. Obviously she needs to get medically seen to somewhat. She's gonna go back to Montana. She wants to get back to some kind of normal life. She literally went from her brother's wedding to the next day investigating this house.
Yeah.
So that's been a huge sort of thing for her. This unnatural role I did was purely for kind of like a personal motivation benefit. The making sure nothing hinky's going on in the house, you know, checking Coventry news, that the Hollowbrook Sparrow, for instance, especially, is going to go in that bank with the Marlene thing. You know, the Jacobs case, that was it feels closed. the threat was there in front of us. We neutralized it. We saw it go. Marlene got away. The house, there's nothing physical that you can be like, this is gone. So there's always going to be that bit in the back of our mind of like, this is kind of like, it's closed, but is it? So very much striving for some kind of normality, and probably very much like a fake bravado over it all, especially when she gets back and sees Eric and has to pretend stuff's normal, because I mean she's got this big old scar on her arm. Like how is she supposed to explain that?
Yeah.
Eric is a friend
But-
now, though, right? Made him a friend.
I think we talked about that, but I mean, it doesn't mean he knows anything, really. Just that it was, I can't tell him what happened.
If he's a friendly, he might be like, okay, something's going on regarding this shady group she's a part of, but that doesn't mean he's privy to all the details. In fact,
exactly.
Even, like, you might be able to give him, like, a knowing, like, glance.
Yeah.
But even... Yeah.
Like, don't ask.
100%.
Kind of thing.
100%.
But yeah, considering, like I said, she came from her brother's wedding into this, Eric is kind of the closest thing she has to family at the moment. Is she doesn't have many people to rely on. All of her friends are all over, the country, the world. Like, I don't know where Bo is. I don't know where Booch is going to be. I can't, talk to them about how fucked everything is. But Eric's just dumb enough to not ask questions. So it's like she can live in this kind of almost level of ignorance pushing it down.
I imagine you
And that was reflected in the fact that her sanity is pretty low.
43.
Yeah.
I imagine you guys are fishing on a lake and Constance is just kind of staring off and he just is kind of talking and kind of gives you a goofy dumb smile. And at least for that moment, it seems like it's enough.
Yeah, you kind of forget.
Last but not least, Ava. What's going on? Epilogue.
Okay, Ava. She's probably the first thing that she would have done after everybody left was make a phone call and look into buying a certain house with a view to demolishing it completely and utterly.
Oh, that's going to trigger some alarm bells for Constance.
Yeah, she doesn't trust that it's over, and she doesn't trust Delta Green. She thinks they sent her there to try and get rid of her because essentially she kind of got pulled into Delta Green because she was trying to hack their system. She got in, she got a snippet of information that made her want to know more. They caught her and I guess the only thing they could do was pull her in, and because of that she's gonna go off the grid. She's gonna go and move to the most remote place she can find. She's not gonna be doing what she always does. She's not gonna have an internet connection. She's not gonna have she might have a landline. That's maybe it.
Yeah,
but the biggest thing that she's gonna do is put some things in place because she's not sure whether they or somebody is going to come after her. So she's going to have some information, some hard copies of stuff with various lawyers around the UK.
Oh my god.
Information. She's got the security footage from the house that we had with the stuff going in the mirror. She also she made an audio file. She put, the burner phone that she bought? She put that on and took a recording when they all went back in the house. of all the shit that was going on. So there's weird shit there. With a view to, if anything ever happens to her, like if she goes missing unexpectedly, not only will there be digital files sent out, and there'll be stuff sent out, sort of something sent out to all of these guys, but that information would find its way out into the world. About, about Delta Green, about all the shady shit. Because obviously,
Ava's about to become the next
missing,
Delta Green up.
Next mission, we can
if Ava goes
assassinate her.
missing, it's because they've got rid of her, or that's what she thinks anyway. So she's kind of safeguarding her own life.
Sure.
Damn, that paranoia is playing on her.
I imagine on the Hollowbrick Sparrow at some point there is an article that maybe you get across, in Montana, Constance, because maybe you got like a subscription or something, checking in every now and then, like you're talking about.
I've just been reading online, but yeah, sure. Physical. She likes paper.
Yeah. Or online, whatever. And there's specifically an article about 37 Celilio Walk, and I imagine your heart grips, just like it sticks just seeing it in the headlines. You're like, my God, we didn't take care of this. And then the article reads, the notorious property of 37 Celilio Walk in the Hollowbrook neighborhood of Coventry, UK, has finally been demolished. The remains that are there, when we're excavating, found a mass grave of dogs and cat skeletons. Uncertain as to why that was going on, nonetheless, the city has decided to make certain that the property is condemned for the time being, as all that is on it is but a foundation. In the night, though, some people have said that they thought that you could hear a woman screaming and the sound of a sledgehammer on the very foundation. Uncertain as to who this was, people think it might be apparently the ghosts that reside on the property. But who believes in that? You don't see any other, for months or however weeks, and if anything else happening to the property, as apparently it's just been destroyed and condemned.
I'd like to think that the maybe the last thing she hears about the property is that a nice little dog park had sprung up on the site.
I mean, that's your property. I don't know. You tell me what you're doing with it.
Because, all those after sort of finding out about all these animals that have been killed there and the mass grave. What better way to have happy dogs there rather than dead ones?
Sure. Well, we will go ahead and leave it.
The neighborhood.
Let's go ahead and leave it there, y'all. And it's time for me to go be a dad. So, as you can tell by my son who's thumping my earphones.
I just want to say, Prankster, you are the fucking best.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate that. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. For those of you who are still watching, just because that this is the end of a Delta Green op doesn't mean that it is the end of this group playing together. This is the second op we have done, and I don't want to guess too much, but I think the plan is eventually one day we would like to return to Delta Green. Seems to be a game that they have really enjoyed. For us, sorry, I'm trying to find something to kind of end on. Here we go. This will be a nice, easy
Delta
evening.
Green has quickly become one of my favorites.
I'm glad.
I haven't played many, but this is going to be hard to top just because of how it is and how we all play together.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
for those of you who are still watching, the plan for our next stream is we have another player who's going to be joining us. We'll be going up to 6 players, which will be cap for this game. We don't get more than 6 because after that it becomes unmanageable. Well, I don't want to say unmanageable, but just harder to manage. I want to make certain everybody has enough time to shine and the like. And so 6 is about the limit for that. We are going to be temporarily switching to a different system, at least for the summer. The plan is, I think for the future, at least until August, I'm going to be running Pathfinder 2E, maybe, which will be as close to D&D as y'all are. Well, as close to D&D as you'll get with me, because I generally don't GM D&D. But then the plan is, after the summer, after our 6th player kind of has to go back to work, because unfortunately he works during the time when we play, our good friend Willie will be leading an actual game of D&D for us. And so we're going to talk a little bit more in the next couple of days, maybe a week or so, about what we're going to do next. Pathfinder 2E is definitely on the table. To kind of have a self-contained story during the summer. But also, if you guys appreciate the change of pace and genre, I also kind of hesitate just because we'll be going right into D&D, and that'll be 2 fantasies, like right back to back, which if you guys don't mind, then no big deal, but I also want to give you guys some word into that. But we're going to be discussing that, and we should have something ready to go by next week. If y'all are good to start then.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I have tomorrow, Friday, and Monday off work, so I'm open to talking about stuff and prepping things.
Legit. Well, then that's the plan. So y'all just hold your butts, stay tuned, and we'll go from there. Well, until we see each other again, I'm going to go ahead and let everybody say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Count Bubula, for saving my life.
Yeah, literally saved his life, her life. Huge. Y'all have a wonderful day, and until we meet at the opera again, I bid you adieu.